Boys are going to bring the heat today.
As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, Lucas. It is Thursday, February 6th. We got a good show today. Recapping the NBA trade deadline with the Detroit Pistons. New offensive coach was hired. That Klotz apparently has connections that he knows. Small world out there in Toledo.
Small world.
Out there in Ohio. And we'll get to Aidan Hutchinson's comments also because he joined the Pat McAfee show. But I'm ready to talk some deadline. For a second there, about 5 minutes before the deadline actually ended, I was worried we were going to have really nothing to talk about. But like a buzzer beater, Dennis Schroder is a team.
By the way, can we just tell the people I have an announcement at 8:30? If you're here, an announcement at 8:30, just so the people know. I tweeted it out. No one. I don't know if the boys saw my tweet, but 8:30, there's an announcement. Big announcement.
Okay.
Bigger than Dennis Schroder.
It's bigger. It is bigger than.
It's a big announcement. It is
Bigger than Dennis and Schroder.
It is very big. Yes, bigger than Dennis Schroder.
Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, look at this. Okay. No. I was talking to Klotz. All right, Klotz. I don't think you heard what Klotz said, Moon.
I did. I just ignored it. Be a pro.
Yeah. No.
Be a pro. We have a show to put on here. Be a pro, Jeff.
Yeah. Come on. No, but Dennis Schroder's a Piston. We saw that happen. Apparently, the Jimmy Butler deal, by the way, isn't even fully processed. I guess it's still like waiting on approval from league officials. But in the trade, the Pistons acquired Dennis Schroder in that deal, which that's the type of player that we talked about, and the type of player, that I was harping for is a player that can help Cade Cunningham again initiate some offense. Like I was talking to Caleb earlier, and he was spot on too. Like watching the Pistons, like you see how like Cade. It's nice having a guy like Cade where you can just put the ball in his hands and say, "Go make plays." But in the modern NBA, you need at least one other guy that can help. Like it's hard. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of it's a heavy workload to ask Cade. Like he's going to get tired, especially the last 10 games. I mean, you mentioned it yesterday, Boone. They're 3-7. Like he's running out of gas, man. Even though he's playing well, but just the team in general, they need someone else. They need another shot creator, offense initiator, another ball handler without Ivy. Yeah. And Marcus Sasser, I like the potential, but lately I've been getting sick of watching Marcus Sasser. Now you get Dennis Schroder to help out, and to be honest, he's been passed around. Quite a few times already. He's played for the Nets early in the year. He was just on the Warriors, and he played really well in the Nets. Actually, played way better than he did with the Warriors, and then now he gets dealt to Detroit. So I love the deal. He's an expiring contract. Hey, help for the rest of the season. I think seeing Twitter today, it seemed like there was a lot of Pistons fans like going at each other. I think we can all agree, and us three can definitely agree. We weren't asking for this big splash trade. None of us were trying to ask for some huge deal that wasn't going to happen. We just wanted a transaction, someone to come help and contribute this year for a team that's going to be in the playoffs, someone to help out this team a little bit, and they did that. Is it going to be a guy that puts them over the top? Maybe they win a series? No. Like all I'm asking for, we didn't even expect them to be in the 5th seed, 6th seed. I just wanted them to make the playoffs, see what happens, maybe win a game. That's what Dennis Schroder helps you do. Maybe you win a game or two in the playoffs. Kumbaya, everyone's happy. And then this offseason, you focus on trying to actually add more talent. To me, this is a great deal by Trajan. And after taking on assets, I get that philosophy. But at some point, you got to make a move for a dude who can help you right now and help Cade with the season he's having. And I think Dennis Schroder does that. So I love the trade.
Yeah, Jeff kind of hit the nail on the head with everything there. There's really not much to it. You needed someone going into this trade deadline, boys, that was like, you are in the 7th seed. Like you've seen them drop games the last 2 nights because Cade's playing 40 plus minutes a game. And it's like, he has no other help when it comes to scoring because Jaden Ivey goes down. So it's like, you really don't have another kind of ball in hand playmaker. And Dennis Schroder, as much as maybe he's not like as great of a playmaker, but like he's going to give you something. Like he's going to give you 15 a game, and that's like all you needed. With Jay and Ivy going down, you had other guys stepping up, and some of them are rookies, some of them are second-year guys, and it was like they're playing great for who they are and what they do. But at the end of the day, it was like you need something else. Like you need a spark. I was getting in arguments this morning with people being like, "Hey, just sit pat, just sit. Who cares? Like if they make a move, cool. If they don't, cool. Like we were never expecting to be in this position. Okay, no, well, you know what? I was never expected to be in the position I'm in today doing this show. But guess what? Just because of that, I'm just going to sit back and not try and keep doing my job and getting better at my job. If that's the logic that Pistons fans and Detroit sports fans have with their sports teams, you probably shouldn't be a fan and just go, I don't know, go play Madden or something. But like you should expect your teams to continue to grow and continue to grow. And it's like, hey, if you have a year that you weren't expecting, build off it. Figure a way out to get in the playoffs and build off of it. It was like the Wings last year. It's like the Lions the last couple of years. Like find a way to get the job done. You're in a position to go get the 5th and the 6th seed. You probably won't get top 4, top 3, but you have an opportunity to move up a couple seeds heading into the playoffs. Not even have to worry about the play-in. The expectation was a play-in this year, and maybe just right outside the edge of it. You have a chance to exceed that. You go and do that. And they essentially too. And you know what, Jeff, I mean, Klotz, I text you boys all day today, and I just kept saying, I just don't want to yell tonight. Like I don't want to have to yell at Trajan Langdon for not making a move. And it was like, time's ticking. It got to the last hour, last 30 minutes, and I'm sitting there like, in my head, like, I'm gonna have to go off on this guy tonight. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I had to do this with Troy Weaver for the last 6-7 years. Like, I don't want to do that with Trajan Langdon. And then the move comes in, and it's, hey, they're bringing in Dennis Schroder as well with the package. They essentially, too, and I give Trajan a ton of credit. It's his first trade deadline with the Pistons, 1-for-1 so far. He dominated today. Like, he didn't give up anything. The man didn't give anything up. He brought in multiple second-round picks, and he brought in 2 players without giving up anything. Like, that's impressive. That's how you, as a GM, when you're in this position, that's how you work, man. And, like, he didn't go out there and spend a bunch of assets. You didn't really need that, but you at least just needed something to spark this team, get some help with Cade, so you're able to at least make a push at this thing. And then whatever happens in the playoffs happens. And then next year, this offseason, that's when you really make your move this offseason. You can go get a trade. You can go free agent, whatever it is. But I loved what Trajan Langdon did today. What time is it right now, boys? 8 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
5.5 hours ago, I was like writing my paragraph down to go at Trajan. Like I was like, here we go. I started typing it out. Deleted it all. Now we're here.
Woosah. You had a woosah moment, Boone. I think
Yep.
Flannel's in the chat. Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout
I
out
agree with you,
Flannel.
boys. I agree with you. Like you weren't going to go get a Brandon Ingram at this trade deadline. You weren't going to go put a mass capital on the line to make a win now move because you're not in a position to make a win now move. I think this is a good measuring stick to see where you are year 1 of JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon. Acquire a guy like Dennis Schroder to bring instant offense like you were missing with Ivy, and you're going to get in the playoffs. Schroeder's a guy that has playoff experience. Pistons got their German. The Lions got their German with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pistons got Dennis Schroder. So you can see the roots being built. They're following the Lions' footsteps, building that base.
Did this
Like
man just compare
good move,
Amon-Ra
good move.
St. Brown to Dennis Schroder?
The
Yeah,
Germans.
Bring
Oh,
the
the
Germans.
Germans. I thought he was like player architect or
No,
player
I said
type.
they,
I
the
was
Pistons
like,
got their
Bring the
Germans.
Germans.
okay. Yeah. You had me for a second there, though, Klotzy.
Lock in,
You
Boone.
really
Lock
did.
in. Come on now.
Hey, I will say this is a great point by Xavier D. I love this, and it's a great point. Xavier says Schroeder will help make a big difference in these close games. That's really when it matters the most. Having a player like Dennis Schroeder is, like he can score the ball. He's a good bench piece, but in this lineup, I mean, there might be times where he might start for you, but he should come off the bench because Marcus Sasser, as much as I liked him coming out, he can score the ball. He's been struggling lately, and playmaking is not his strong suit. It's not. He's not a guy that's going to. I mean, he's been turning the ball over more lately. Schroeder has always been a guy that can make plays like that. He can create for others. He can score. He's played a lot of basketball. He's played for different organizations. He understands the league. So in close games, when you have a guy like Dennis Schroeder out there with Cade, it does take pressure off of him. Although, of course, you want the ball in Cade's hands. But, man, the way the Pistons have been playing, it's basically, hey, Cade, go win a game for us. And if someone decides to show up like a Malik Beasley, then it'll help our chances. But, yeah, I agree with Xavier. Late in games, that's where Schroeder's value, you're really going to see it.
Because he's got one year left on his contract, right?
I mean, he's done after this year, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, there's
like a
'cause
rental.
I just want to make sure it's just this year that he would be in Detroit.
Yeah,
pretty much,
he's
unless they.
he. And by the way, shout out to Caleb. By the way, Caleb emotes are live, so for members,
Come on
you
now.
can spam
Come
Caleb's
on
face.
now.
We got to get Caleb right here. So Caleb, the doc, got some new emotes, so feel free, spam away. He says Ron Holland is about to go crazy with Schroder in that second unit. Yeah, it helps the second unit to have a guy like that, man.
Yeah.
It does. So
I think Schroeder's going to be good for this team. I really do. I think it's going to take it up. Like again, Cade's out there 40 minutes a game, and everything's on his back. Like he's doing everything. Schroeder, like you see, like the games when Cade comes out, like these guys, you take a step back. Like you don't have to take a step back anymore in those when Cade's out of the game.
yeah, it's definitely going to help out. So I like it. Good job by Trajan, keeping flexibility open. You still had a guy that can make some plays for you right now. It's a win-win. So, even though Dennis Schroder has had some comments lately, just wild comments, but he, as a player, we will take it. We will take him. He's a great player. So that's the Dennis Schroder stuff. Also, we have an update with the Detroit Lions coaching staff. They brought in NFL quarterback, former Bruce Gradkowski. As an offensive assistant, past 2 seasons, he was the offensive coordinator for the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Roll Hawks.
Of the UFL. Brad Gradkowski.
Bruce, you keep saying Brad, dude.
Bruce, come on, Jeff.
No. Now it's just a bit now. I'm going to keep saying
I don't know if that was a bit. That was very serious.
Boone, go ahead.
Yeah, I've just got breaking news. Jared Goff's going to be a dad. I think it got announced today at the NFL Awards. That's big time. QB1, dad strength. Once you become a dad, I think there's actually, because I was watching it on this show. I'm not going to say the show because people will be like, oh, Booner, the Rogan show. But when people have kids, you actually get dad strength. Like I think that's an actual scientific thing. So, hey, Jared Goff, the man's about to get a little bit stronger.
That's great.
I just wanted to say that.
Cannon.
But hey, Brad,
dude, you did it.
I'm okay.
That was not a bit, dude. Come on.
Chill out, all right?
What are we?
This is disrespect to the 419.
Yeah, I mean, at the end
Brad
of the day,
Gradkowski.
Bruce deserves a lot more respect.
Hey, listen, Brad Gradkowski. I looked into a little bit what he was doing with the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Roll Hawks.
And Roll Hawks. I mean, this guy.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
And Al Carson put out like his stat, like the St. Louis Battlehawks, like what they've been doing last season. And I shared it with Klotzy on Bleacher Report, and it's like, I mean, I wasn't familiar with
free ads.
Game. I was not familiar with his game. I will say that because we covered AJ when we went out to the Panthers game. We were talking a lot about AJ McCarron in the UFL. Hakeem Butler, we've talked about on this show before. They all played under Bruce, Gradkowski, whatever you want to call him. They played under him, and they were second in the league in touchdowns scored, second in the league in points per game. AJ McCarron, the UFL quarterback, broke a single season passing yards record and passing touchdown record, 420 passing yards and 6 touchdowns. Wide receiver Hakeem Butler was second in the league in catches, second in the league in receiving yards, first in the league in receiving touchdowns. So
instrumental.
I mean, is this kind of like a John Morton Jets type of thing where it's like career high, or is this something that we should be kind of hyped for, Klotz? I mean, what?
Listen,
you know the guy apparently. What's going on?
Let me. Okay, I've met Bruce Gradkowski multiple times. My high school football coach is really good friends with him. He's from the Toledo area. Well, at least went to college. He's like one of the best, probably the best University of Toledo quarterback ever. But he's a super good guy, like super solid guy, gritty guy, Dan Campbell type of guy. But he's been around the league. Got drafted, I believe, the Buccaneers, was kind of just a journeyman. But those are kind of the best quarterback, especially quarterback coaches to have, because he's been behind guys like guys like Ben Roethlisberger's, and he's seen a lot of schemes, a lot of different coaching styles. I think this is just a move to help make Jared Goff comfortable. You have another quarterback-friendly coach who's seen it from a kind of a different perspective. You have Mark Brunell, who played in the game, was a very good quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now you have a guy who might sound like a dig, but Bruce Gradkowski was kind of a career backup, but that still gives you a different perspective. So I look at this as this is just another little, I don't know if chess piece, but a nice little move to put around John Morton to make sure that this offense flows fine around Jared Goff after losing Ben Johnson. I love the Battlehawk stats. Love them, Jeff.
AJ McCarron.
Great research. Makes
Hakeem Butler.
Hakeem Butler. Very high. I was very high on him coming out of Iowa State. Hakeem.
I'll say this, boys, and he's an offensive assistant. Like, I don't think after today, and maybe I'm wrong, and I really don't care if I am or not, we're not going to hear about Bruce much often. I'm just going to call a spade. Shout out Bruce. Maybe one day we talk to him as the boys, but just another piece to this offense. Like, if you guys need to see how many assistants the Lions had on offense last year, we talked about Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell and Hank Fraley and Scotty. That was it. I don't know if Bruce is I think it's a great hire. I think it's good. No, this isn't it's a cool topic to cover because it's Lions news. It's cool. Shout out Bruce, like Caleb said. Shout Bruce out, man. Great guy. He's gonna help this offense. I think it's just one of those hires. Like, you got to bring guys in to help, and I'm not gonna. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna hype up every hire we get. Yeah. I don't know much about the guy. Like, hopefully he comes in here and he's helped out AJ McCarron. He's played at Toledo. Like, sick, dude. Like, come in and win a Super Bowl for us. That's all I care about. I genuinely, boys.
Like, I love.
Boone, I don't blame you.
This is one of those hires where it's like if the Lions hire a janitor, are we gonna be like, yes?
Yeah, but here's
I'm not saying that. I feel bad, Bruce. I love you. If you're watching,
no.
You're not a janitor. I'm just saying, I think it's a great hire because of the experience. He was an OC in the UFL, and we loved UFL. We're covering them this year, but I just think it's like. Here we go. There's levels to this thing. I want to see what he can do first.
Well, hold on, because the last offensive assistant was John Morton, and the glaze he got was off the charts. So I think to say offense assistants don't matter. Well,
did he get the glaze while he was here, or was it when he left? Like now, like today?
But apparently, this man, all due respect to him, constructed behind the scenes this offense. Like, I got it. If that's what we're working with, if these offense assistants are that valuable, then you know what, Bruce? Let him cook. All right, let him cook. Don't let Bruce get on the whiteboard like Gruden.
He's a dope dude, but he knows a shit ton about football because every year he talked to us before the season starts, coming to the locker room, give us some motivational talk. But that dude, very smart football mind, very smart.
That small world, Toledo. Very fine quarterback.
Yeah, how about that? Shout out to Toledo, Klotz. How about, I love that for you, bro. There's a lot of things that you go through in life, man, and you getting the guy in the NFL, man. I respect that.
Hey, Toledo, Charles Woodson.
The Lions might bring in another staff member. They're interviewing ex-NFL star running back Darren Sproles for a role on their staff. And it says here, Sproles, who is getting into coaching, has been a popular name this cycle, has garnered interest from both college and NFL running back coach jobs. Boy. And he's been working as a consultant with the Eagles the last handful of years. So he's been working with the Eagles lately.
I think he's still with the Eagles now. As this run's going on,
he's a consultant. So I mean,
this would be when I see this one. I love this move, but if the Lions brought him in, I could promise you more than anything. When Scotty Montgomery leaves, he would be the running backs coach because you look at what Darren Sproles was. You look at Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs much better, kind of undersized running backs, but dual threats. And then you can see what he does with a player like Sione Vaki, what Darren Sproles was as a returner. Look at what Sione Vaki could do as a returner. Darren Sproles, another guy where if you sit down and listen to Darren Sproles talk football, that dude lives, breathes, and is just everything about football. He's 5'7", playing the running back position and made Pro Bowls. The dude was a dog, and he's somebody that, regardless of who walks into that running back room, you're going to respect Darren Sproles. So I think that's a player, or could be a Deuce Staley situation. When you look at, was really good in his career, wasn't anything amazing, but was very solid and had great moments. Deuce Staley was that too. Transitioned to being a coach, and guys just will follow what he says, and he's going to hold people accountable. So I would love Darren Sproles coming to Detroit to kind of just be coached up and hopefully be part of like the Dan Campbell coaching tree. I think that'd be a great player coach.
Yeah, I think one of those, like with that too, is just like a player's like being a former player, and Darren Sproles, he has been in a winning organization with the Eagles. I talked about it when they started hiring this staff as like guys who have won before. You had Ben Johnson, who was never an OC, who was in Detroit for so long, never played, but I had AG, who played a lot, but first time DC. I think like some of these guys, you start getting them in here. A guy like Darren Sproles, dude, he's been around winning his whole career.
Yeah.
Like he knows what it takes to get to that position and to get to where the Lions want to get. So like if he, especially if he's working behind Scotty Montgomery, like Scotty's able to kind of mold him and teach him. And like Scotty is elite, one of the best in the league at what he does. Yeah. And like Darren Sproles has been working with Saquon Barkley this year. I'm pretty sure he's with the Eagles this year. He's been working with DeAndre. Look what he did with DeAndre Swift last year. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the league. He's been around it. And it's like, dude, Dan just keeps finding these former players who want to coach and who can be elite coaches. That's why I love it. I hope it gets through. I hope he ends up hiring them. I really do.
Yeah, I'm all on board. I mean, whatever his role would be, he wouldn't be like a running back coach right away, but with any role, any capacity to maybe work towards that, I mean, I'm down, dude. Down with Darren Sproles, man. I also got, speaking of coaches, Ben Johnson just won Assistant Coach of the Year. Just announced. So
well deserved.
Aaron Glenn was in the running. Ben Johnson was in the running. Now it's official. He wins Assistant Coach of the Year, which, like, I know Lions fans are probably like this. It just rubs salt in the wound because now you got all these Bears fans like, yeah, that's our coach. But I mean, bias aside, I mean, well deserved, man. Like we thought the Lions had a chance because of the offense in the to get to a Super Bowl, or people did it. So like the guy did wonders with this offense. Well deserved, but
well deserved. Happy for him. I'm happy he could get an Assistant Coach of the Year award, because there's one damn thing that's for sure: he will not get a Coach of the Year award ever while he's part of the Chicago Bears. So glad he could get an award where he was due. Really don't appreciate that playoff performance, but times move on. As time goes, Detroit Lions fans will heal. We can enjoy beating up on Ben Johnson twice a year in Chicago, even though he has the magnificent Caleb Williams. So it'll be I think in the long term, it'll be satisfying. Hopefully the J-Mo show, Johnny Morin, gets this offense near to where it was last year. Doesn't have to be right there, but top 5 offense, hopefully. I feel like it's hard to not do that with the talent. Ben Johnson, be missed for the moment, but not forever. So congrats on Assistant of the Year. Happy for him.
Now, and we have to wait for Dan Campbell, the Coach of the Year stuff.
I'm waiting for it.
That's the big one. It's
I don't know when they announce that one. I'm interested too. And by the way, I have plus 300 for Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year. So I'm over here like give me the plus 300. But like MVP tonight, boys. That's like there's like the award. Like this is the award show. I don't know who's gonna. Josh Allen could get his first. I'm pumped up for that.
Yeah,
I don't think what's going to happen, but
someone commented in the chat and said that Offensive Player of the Year, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, the quarterbacks in that race, and then MVP, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar. Like Josh isn't an offensive player, but he's an MVP. Which
I don't get that.
Well, I understand why. Like he didn't have the numbers to be an Offensive Player of the Year, but he's still an MVP candidate.
I feel like you got to give
Lamar.
Okay, so Lamar, Josh.
No, I said Josh Allen. Josh Allen's not in the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's why it's weird. Like I think like if the 2 finalists for the award, it's going to be Josh Allen and it's Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, but Joe Burrow is ahead of Josh Allen in the Offensive Player of the Year. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
Really?
Not at all. Like if Josh Allen had a better year than Joe Burrow and people are voting for him for MVP.
Well,
then if he had a better year, then he should be ahead of him in the MVP voting.
No. Offensive player and MVP it's different.
I know it's just 2 separate votes, but that's my point. Is like if you're like let's look at the how the votes come out. If Josh Allen and Lamar are 1 and 2, like if Joe Burrow is the Offensive Player of the Year over Josh Allen, then he should have more MVP votes as well. Like that means he had a better year. Like at the end of the day.
It's crazy that
that's-
it's not.
that's
it
like
should be
logical.
Saquon fucking Barkley. Like, okay, well, you guys don't.
No,
win
he's
the,
no. He's
Saquon's going to win it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Saquon's
no,
going to
it's
win
not.
it.
What I meant was those quarterbacks are in the race. Like Saquon's probably the runaway favorite. Like,
Okay,
but it's Lamar and
They're the
Joe in the
finalists.
race, and then
finalists,
no
yeah.
Josh, but Josh is an MVP. But
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, that it is.
Well, if you
I'm
think
still
about it,
kind of
like
shook
when-
about Jared Goff being a dad, man. I'm not going to lie. That's throwing me off, dude. I'm sorry, boys. That's really.
I guess how I look at it, and I don't know. I don't know how the actual.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? It's
I guess
like
I look at it like offensive player of the year is like the best offensive numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
so
think
what-
about like the year
but,
that
like,
Lamar
that's-
had. Think about statistically, we're talking. Think about the year Lamar had, like most rushing yards. Like he was going crazy.
Yeah,
Then you
40
think about the year that
TDs.
Saquon had. Statistically, was going crazy. Think about the year Joe Burrow had, going crazy. This was kind of a down year for Josh Allen statistically, but it was the most valuable.
Again,
year
then he
because
shouldn't
wasn't
be in
trying
the
to do too
finals
much.
for MVP, though. It should be
But
Joe Burrow and
I don't think that's
I
the
think you're
case.
Lamar.
I think you're misunderstanding. Like, think of it like this: like MVP, most valuable player. Josh is valuable. Like the year they had is because of Josh, but offensive player of the year, like he doesn't have the numbers because, like, if Josh is in there, then Goff should be in there. Offensive player of the year, like he should be over Josh. He had better numbers. You know what I mean? Like that's you get the numbers aspect. You need
Yeah,
the
I
numbers.
do. I do, but like, I don't know. It's just such a weird concept to me. They need to figure out. And I'm not one for change, but you got to figure out these awards out a little bit more because like MVP is a quarterback's award. Like quarterbacks shouldn't be allowed to win Offensive Player of the Year. Like it shouldn't be able to. Like, there's no way. Because then you get those years where sometimes like Lamar will get both, or someone will get both.
Yeah, I don't like.
But
that
then like a year like this, it's like the MVP doesn't get the offensive player. It's just really inconsistent, and it makes no sense.
yeah, it is
so.
kind of. You could sweep the award.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. People
If
are saying
you're,
Boone's going to be a dad.
If you're, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Goff's a dad. I mean, I did see that earlier.
It's crazy. That's how they announced it. Hey, that's what you call Hollywood there, Jeff. You know all about being Hollywood. That's what you call Hollywood, going out on the red carpet and announcing it with like I think she like announced it with like her baby bump. Like just went out there and said, hey, look.
Baby bump.
I'm pretty sure that's how they,
What are
I
we,
could be
TNT?
wrong, but I
Whatever,
saw the
TNT.
video and is it Kristen? Is that her name?
Sure. I'm not going to correct you.
Yeah,
Either way.
she's like rubbing her belly. Like I think that was the announcement. Like didn't tell anyone until today. I'm pretty
Boone,
sure.
you're going to be the Godfather?
I mean, if Jared Goff wants me
He's
to.
applying.
You guys, I mean, there was a point in my life
Indeed,
where I was
posting
messaging Jared Goff every day to go win a Super Bowl. I helped advance the team to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, well, that's it. Hey, never know. Don't roll out Boone. Also, hey, Boone, speaking of you.
Can we wait the announcement? Can we postpone it?
Okay, well.
I'm just worried. What I'm worried, if I'm being honest, I'm worried I'm going to do the announcement and Dan Campbell's going to announce as Coach of the Year.
Well, we gotta keep the show going here. I mean,
no, hold on. Well, how long is anyone watching? Does anyone know where we're at with the awards?
You want to just do a watch party for the awards? You want to just watch? I mean,
No,
what are we doing?
I'm like, are they about to announce Coach of the Year? Does anyone have it on? Can someone help us out? Can we get the chat help? Can we get a lifeline?
Maybe someone in the chat. Maybe we got a lifeline.
Can we get a lifeline? You see where I'm coming from here?
Oh, after 9, Ryan.
Are we
says
sure? Ryan, I'm positive.
that.
I
I'm
trust
trusting Ryan.
Ryan. I trust him.
Trusting Ryan.
Trust the chat, Boone. Trust the chat.
Okay.
Trust the people, Boone.
No, I trust the people. I'm all in on the people.
We've only
You
got
guys wanna
one
get-
though. We're
you guys wanna
banking
get
on
to it?
Ryan's word. I mean, we're banking on. We only got one in
It's
there.
like I get like a minute
Booner's
in.
gonna
I
be like in
announce
the
it,
middle of it.
Can't finish
in the
my
middle.
announcement because I
Yeah.
can't finish my announcement because it's like, oh, Dan Campbell.
Oh
Coach.
yeah, there it is. J Hart doesn't come on till 9. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, Boone.
All right,
You
hey.
want to tell the people something big today?
I do. And you know what? I guess I get, oh man, do I have to go solo cam here? This makes me a little nervous. This is a big moment for me.
You're built for it, Boone.
This is a big,
This
It's
is a
like
big
the
moment
light-
for
like
you.
the
So it's
stage
gotta be
lights
about
on you. The
Okay.
stage lights on
Yeah.
you.
shine bright like a diamond. You guys know that song?
Oh god.
No, I'm kidding.
nervous
All right,
for you,
no.
bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm nervous, but I'm going to say this. I was built for this. I'm starting the campaign today, boys. Last year, we went out of campaign. There was the Booner Path. The Booner Path will still be. Klotzy, your job is safe. CPO, we are safe. I'll tell you
Love to
what.
hear it.
But I saw something today. There's something going on right now at 9 o'clock, whatever the time is. There's this award show going on. I saw a man go on air today on a specific show on Radio Row. And it got me thinking a little bit. Last year, I was the first person on the scene. I think it was, what do you think, boys? March, April. I was the first person on the scene to make a statement. And no one else wanted to step up and say, hey, I'm going to put my foot in this, and I'm putting my life on the line for this. My name is going on the line for this. Fellas, this year, I said I'm running it back. I'm starting the campaign during the 2024 season. We haven't even got to the Super Bowl yet, boys. The NFL awards haven't even happened yet. Fellas, the announcement in 2025.
Hold on.
Booner will be I'm not running for president, but Booner will be at the forefront once again for the one and only, the best, the undisputed defensive player of the year, hailing out of the University of Michigan, Aidan Hutchinson, boys. We're running it back. People say, Booner, this is an easy one. No, it's not, because I haven't heard it yet. I'm the one that's going to bring it to the table. Hey, all the people in the chat right now, hashtag Hutch DPOY 2025. Hey, Klotzy, hey, you're not only the CPO, you're the CEO of this. I'm running, and we're going to lead this thing all the way to the front.
Wait. What?
Aidan Hutchinson, Defensive Player of the Year 2025. Starts today. We haven't even announced the 2024 winner yet.
What?
And we already know who the 2025 winner is. Defensive Player of the Year, boys. Brought to you by Crunch Time Sports.
Wow. Oh, I mean, this guy, I mean, the Super Bowl it hasn't even happened yet. And it's already, like, the award's locked up.
We're going to have merch.
Watch that. Yep.
We're going to have merch. Merch isn't ready yet.
Yeah. No, I like what you got on. I like the hat. Can we sell that? We're
going to make a hat. We're going to make merch.
Yeah, I mean, the hat's coming.
Everything's.
Yeah.
I promise you he's going to have a better season than this announcement.
No, it looks great. I mean, Hutch went on his little celebrity tour today talking to Pat McAfee about a lot of things, and it got me thinking, Boone, and I think this is a lock.
A lot of people are saying Myles Garrett. Do we like Aidan Hutchinson?
Love Aidan Hutchinson, bro.
Do we like Aidan?
My mic broke again.
Okay, everything's going wrong. I mean, if Myles Garrett's with Aidan, I mean, they might both win it. They might, like, it's like one is on one side of the award and the other's on the other. They're like
co-award winner.
Co-defensive player.
My hat's falling apart.
The hat looks great.
It's all right, but it's not about the hat, Boone. It's about the narrative that you were spreading, and I think it's a very accurate one. I think with the year that Aidan Hutchinson was off to, he could even have the leg injury hamper him a little bit, and I still think he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Honestly, with the way that Aidan Hutchinson has recovered, it is good that he's young, because I think he'll be able to recover with it better and more efficiently than, say, he was at the tail end of his career. And yeah, Boone, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to write names down of people who are against it. Stephen David in the chat, who is just a known hater of me. I know he hates Aidan Hutchinson. So that's what it is. So I'm going to write some people's down. Hey, there's going to be no co-defensive player of the year. Aidan Hutchinson's going to go out there. Aidan Hutchinson's going to have 20-plus sacks. Aidan Hutchinson's going to break the NFL record for sacks. Aidan Hutchinson's going to dominate every single quarterback that tries to come through Detroit. Everything runs through Detroit, and everything on the defensive side runs through Aidan Hutchinson. We are starting the campaign today. I see Spenbo Rags. He'll hop on, too. He could be a part of the campaign trail as well. Aidan Hutchinson for Defensive Player of the Year in 2025. Listen, 21 and a half sacks next season for Aidan Hutchinson.
21 and
He will be a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. We're calling it now before the awards for this year come out. It is happening. It's a lock. It's the biggest lock of my lifetime.
Love it, Boone. Love it,
Brought
Boone.
to you by the Booner Path and Crunch Time Sports.
Yeah, this message is paid for by the Booner Path. Yeah, I don't think there should be anyone that really disagrees. He's going to be the favorite going into the year. I mean, there's no question.
And
Myles Garrett would be in that combo, but yeah.
Jesse said 21 sacks. Come on. Yeah, my bad, Jet. 22 sacks. 22.
You say he'll break the record.
You'll break
Why
the
not?
NFL record. And Spenny said, put the bread on it. Spenny, we're all in on it. Klotzy's the CEO. I'm the owner, and I'm the
Don't
CPO.
disrespect my role
I
like
changed
that.
your role. I changed your role for this one. You have a different role for this campaign.
I mean,
This is a different campaign. I need to hire a team, a campaign team.
the hat is just, I love it. Can you just leave that on the whole show?
I will if we have to.
I mean,
Caleb said 30. Hey, get Caleb in on this too. Caleb, hey, you're on the campaign team with
30.
I'm sorry, Caleb. I need your signature in the chat. Sign your name in the chat if you are on board as part of the campaign.
Hey, Steven David said, Booner's biggest hater. I've given you props for 2 days on your Piston stakes.
Appreciate that, Steven.
Steven, hey, we love Steven, dude.
How we doing, Steven? Yeah.
Now,
But Steven doesn't think Hutch will win Defensive Player of the Year. That's
Weezy
just
says, I'm skeptical of him coming back and being Hutch.
Hey, Weezy, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. You want me to? I can win you over right now, Weezy. Ready? The man's the Terminator. He's the Terminator.
Wow.
He is the Terminator. Aidan Hutchinson's the Terminator. Caleb, I need you to type your name in the chat as a signature, like an electronic signature, please. And you'll be a part. Hey, you are at the top of the Klotzy CPO. You're like COO, Chief Operating Officer of the Hutch for Defensive Player of the Year 2025.
I mean, Caleb said 40 sacks.
Scotty B said he's in.
Yeah, this is. I mean, that guy versus Hutch over 20 sacks preseason bet would pay out pretty good.
That guy up north, we're all hitting it.
So Spenny says, send you social security number and mother's maiden name if you agree.
Spenny, I have an opening CFO for the campaign. CFO,
yeah,
CMO, chief marketing officer, whatever you want, Spenny, it's yours. So let me know.
Kryptonic TV says third time's the charm to get it right. 23 sacks, so he actually breaks the record, which I
yes. Hey,
2.5.
Kryptonic is automatically on the campaign. Automatically, we're hitting 23, not 21,
Steven said
not
50
22, 23 sacks next season, boys. 23.
3 sacks a game.
Unanimous. Has there ever been a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year? Ever?
Let me look. They possibly could have.
Hutch will be the first, if not. He will be.
JJ Watt was the only player to win the award unanimously, receiving 50 out of 50 votes in 20.
What a name to be in the football world with.
JJ's
Aidan Hutchinson, JJ Watt.
Unanimous Defensive Player of the Year.
Caleb's in, the COO, the Chief Operating Officer.
Wow.
Klotz is the Chief Path Officer.
Come on now.
Jeff, I mean, when it comes to the Booner Path, you're a janitor.
Yeah, Vincent says Hutch MVP.
You know what? I'm not going to do that, but no, Defensive Player of the Year.
Sharpie out the.
Yeah, you know what? MVP. Yeah, I know. I'm a janitor. I sometimes, you know how they say, you treat the janitor with as much respect as you treat the boss. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm offering you an executive award or an executive position.
He's executive award janitor of the year, Jeff Iafrate.
Yeah. I'm offering you. Hey, there's two as of right now. There is 2 positions open: Chief Marketing Operator or Officer and Financial Officer. It's either whatever you don't pick, Spenny gets. Whatever Spenny doesn't pick, you get.
That's fair.
So you guys duke it out for the last 2 spots.
Well, I have Hutch's comments. Hutch went into different things. We have him on Dan Campbell, him on last season, and him on the offseason. So let's start. I believe this is the offseason clip. Let's take a listen to Aidan Hutchinson.
Right.
Your team's got a lot of young studs, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to pay everybody at some point.
This is it's going to get a little weird, I think, this offseason. A little crazy. We'll see who they're going to keep and who they won't.
Keep collecting Gatorade checks, brother.
Right.
Your team's got.
Interesting.
Did he say want? I'm just kidding.
No,
You know what? I posted that earlier. That's not me. There were some people that commented and said he didn't say
Boone,
want.
it would have been so much better though if he said.
Oh,
want.
dude. I mean, either way, it's the same. I think it stands as the same point. Like
Who they want.
Aidan Hutchinson, like Amon Ra goes on his podcast earlier this week and says hey, make the move. Like we would love go make moves. Aidan Hutchinson goes on the biggest show in the world, the sports world, and says, hey, things are going to get really weird this offseason. Things are going to happen. I don't think it's like a coincidence. And I don't think like you guys don't think they're not communicating with Hutch, like potentially if they're going to make moves, like him going out there being like, hey, things are going to get a little weird this offseason. Like, yeah, there's going to be some things that happen this offseason, boys. There might be people, again, you guys saw my text. I'm not going to name people. Shout out all the people, though, that think that they're not going to make moves. Hey, that's not a Brad Holmes thing to do. Again, like there are multiple arguments. Dan Campbell going after Daniil Hunter last year. He went after Max Crosby. He made the phone calls. He makes moves. Like he obviously hasn't made the moves, but he makes the calls to make the moves. And you have your own players. You have the future unanimous defensive player of the year, 2025 guy out there saying on the Pat McAfee show that they're going to hey, things are going to get a little chaotic this offseason. Something's happening, boys. I'm telling you. And I love it. I'm here for it.
And Boone, I agree with you that there could be something like that's in the works, like especially with Amon-Ra. But am I the only one, like between the three of us, that took absolutely like nothing from the Aidan Hutchinson? Like I feel like there was nothing really to look into there, in my opinion. Like when he says who will be there, who won't. Like he's talking, yeah, obviously free agents, but you look at like Carlton Davis, what's going to happen with him? Like I think he's more referring to the roster. Like I really did not like pull anything from that interview that was like, oh, the Lions are up to something. I think with the Myles Garrett thing. Definitely, but I don't know. Maybe
they didn't ask him.
I'm not looking into it deeper enough, but I just didn't really see anything there.
I mean, what do you mean?
Did they ask him at all about any of that?
Like the
no, they just said, hey, you guys have you guys drafted really good. There's a lot of really good players on your team that are going to have to start getting paid. Things are going to have to start happening. And he makes the comment and goes, yeah, things are going to get pretty weird this summer. Like they're going to try and figure out who they want to keep and what they're going to do. Like, I do think like, as much as people are like, we're talking about it, like, these guys have a realization that some of these guys are going to walk away and they're going to have to make trades and bring new guys in. And I think that's Hutch's point. Like, even if you don't take it that way, either way, like when he says that, like he's acknowledging saying that, yes, like we all understand there are going to be guys who walk away, whether that's this year or, you know, if a guy wants an extension, or if a guy wants an extension this year and he doesn't get it, guys are going to maybe want to be traded or they're going to go out and trade for guys. Like that's basically what he's saying there. Spenny said he's basically said if they don't trade for Garrett, he's holding out. I mean, it was close to it.
That's what he said. It
was close to it. That's kind of what I heard. I interpreted. I'm an interpreter. I actually got a degree in that. That's how I took it.
I mean, yeah, I'll take Spenny. What he said is true. I cannot believe there had to have been something where like his PR guy was like, hey, no Myles Garrett. Like Pat fumbled that. You got to at least be like, hey, Hutch, you and Myles Garrett playing together. Like, I know you don't make you don't make the moves, but what would you think of playing next to a guy like that? Like just to get a soundbite of Hutch being like, we would wreck. We would cause havoc. Just to get a clip like that. The man was in Radio Row too. Myles Garrett was out there. So that's, you know what? That's a very rare Pat McAfee L. You didn't ask about Myles Garrett. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, there had to have been something.
Like it had to have been like a PR guy or something like, hey, no, like
probably has something to do with PR, but you know, I think somebody even said it in the chat. They're all at the NFL honors. You got Dan there, got Jared Goff there, you got Hutch there, Myles Garrett to be there. So you can do some would it be tampering at this point because it's still during the NFL season?
About what?
No, you could talk. I mean, you can have conversations.
Yeah. I don't think it's as much. They don't hold. It's more about
player-wise, you can say whatever you want. I don't think there's any tampering with players.
Okay. Yeah,
you can call, you can do whatever.
Because they don't make any decisions. He's just talking. Like Hutch saying, like, I would love to play with him. They don't. I mean, did you hear Malik Neighbors? They asked him who he play with, and he said Jaden Daniels. And dude is on the Giants. Just got drafted. It's like that's clown behavior, man. Like,
I mean, it is his college quarterback, though.
But if any, but you know this, Klotz.
No. What are we talking about here?
You don't.
He literally Klotz, you need to start.
That's a divisional opponent, Klotz. You just don't say it.
He said maybe someday or something like, hey, you might.
I don't think
like,
you can
come
be.
on.
I don't think if
If-
I'm a
if-
Giants fan, like, can
I'd
you be
be
mad at
livid.
him? Oh my, let's relax here. Let's relax.
If Amon-Ra, like if that was Amon-Ra hypothetically, and he played with a great quarterback, and he's like, I want to play. I'd love to play with that quarterback. It's like, bro, you're here. Fuck that
if
guy.
the Lions were dog shit like they were when like Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia, and Amon-Ra were to say that, would you be mad at him? No, you'd be like, yeah, why would you want to be here? No,
It'd be like
let's
J-Mo.
be
Like J-Mo, like
realistic
I would
here.
love to play with Bryce Young and Goff's quarterback or something.
It's
like
a complete. You're talking about a guy who's in a dog sit situation who had Daniel Dimes and Tommy DeVito as his
Okay.
quarterback. When he's talking about his college quarterback that just won
too
offensive.
bad.
Rookie
You're
of the
gonna get
Year.
Schroder. You should say, hopefully, we get a guy this year.
Yeah, I would still much rather play with Jaden Daniels.
But
Schroder Sanders
of
would be
course you
should be
would.
a
Of course
second
you
round
would.
pick, but he's gonna be overdrafted.
Of course you would, but you don't say it. It's like you
You know, like the tone.
yeah, I'm not a huge, like, you got to be a little professional there in that situation. But whatever, we disagree with that. So a lot of things being said. All right, basically. And I also have a clip of Aidan talking about what was the major injury he had and coming back from that, and him just his thoughts on just last year in general. So let's play this clip and we'll hear from Aidan. Here we go.
Defensive player of the year, like tracking too.
Oh, yeah.
You were
Yeah.
playing the best ball by far that you had played in the NFL.
Yeah.
How much does that like kind of make you eager for next season, or how do you kind of deal with that, knowing that you were on a rocket ship and then bang, it just
Yeah.
gets all stopped out of
Oh,
nowhere?
it hurt. That was, despite the pain, being ripped out of that season and knowing what I could have done and what could have been. It's like that's what I have the hardest time with. But then again, I'm going into year 4 next year, so I'm young and I got a lot of good football.
Yeah,
left,
and I
know can
assume
pick up on it.
MCDC will use this entire ending of the year as motivation.
Yeah, I mean, I got no worries about Aidan being Aidan. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't think is there going to be an adjustment him coming off of that injury? Yeah, of course. But he's going to have the whole offseason. There was talks of him playing in the Super Bowl if the Lions made it. Guess what? You have March, April, May, June, July, August. He's got time, you know. So like, I'm not worried about Hutch. His work ethic, man, he works his ass off. I'm not. For anyone out there worried about him not looking like he did last year, like last year, that's a high level to play at. He had like 4 sacks in a game at one point. Like that's defensive player of the year type of play. So if he could do that again, great. But do I expect Hutch to be very, very good as usual? Yeah, I do. I have no worries about him coming back from injury. Zero. In my opinion.
I'm not worried either. Listen, I think too, the fact that today he comes out and says, hey, like, I'm almost done with rehab already. And he's kind of getting like, and obviously when they get knocked out, I'm sure he was able to say, like, I do think there was a point to where they were saying he's going to be back and it was going to be kind of a rushed situation because of when the injury was, like halfway through the year almost. And I think once you get knocked out of the playoffs, I do think Hutch all of a sudden was like, all right, let's take our time with this. And like, he's still going through rehab. And then he says he can get back to normal lifts and normal off season after that. Like, yeah, is there going to be a little adjustment over the offseason of getting back to it and figuring that out? I'm sure it's going to feel a little different. Does that change who Hutch is? Like, I do think there's a big part of an NFL player where it's like just mindset. Like, it's all mindset. And I think Hutch is like you see the greats, like they just have a great mindset. Like, there are talented guys, more talented in the NFL, that just are never as good as some players. Hutch just has that it factor to where he knows that, you know, the motor, all of that stuff that comes with it. Like, he has all of that, and that's never going to go away with an injury. So as long as physically he can get back to where he was, which I have all of the faith in the world that he does, then he's going to be just fine next year. Full off season here. Rehab's done. It sounded like by the end of this month, rehab's going to be done. And then as soon as the rehab's done, you're in your off-season workouts and you're ready to go and you're gonna be ready for training camp. Maybe not OTAs, just to be safe, but like for sure, like, hey, back for training camp and ready to roll. Like, I don't think Hutch I've seen people in the chat when I say, hey, he's gonna win defensive player of the year. People are just sitting there like, oh well, like, how do we know he's not gonna take a step back? Like, he won't. Like, he's not going to. Like, that's the last thing Hutch is gonna do going into next year.
Yeah, and I just think Aidan Hutchinson's so important to this franchise because he is within himself something that the Detroit Lions have never had, which is an elite pass rusher. Like maybe Robert Porcher, if you want to bring up that, I'm not going to hold you there. But I mean, Aidan Hutchinson, you think back Ezekiel Ansah, Cliff Averill, Kyle Vanden Bosch. Like there's not really, you can't think of like a dominant edge rusher. This is the best pass rusher the Detroit Lions have ever had. So to have him return next season, to your point earlier, Jeff, like we were having conversations about if Hutch went out, do they make it to the Super Bowl? Do they win the Super Bowl? And you'll have that impact next year. And it would like that situation, in my opinion, is such a one-off. Like you don't see that happen twice in a player's career outside of Tank Dell, which is very unfortunate. But Aidan Hutchinson's going to be back next year. He's going to be the defensive player of the year favorite, most likely heading into the season. I expect him to pick up right where he left off. Maybe not the amount of sacks he had in the first 4 games, because what did he have, 4.5, whatever it was against Tampa Bay? I don't know if he gets that in the first 4 weeks, but Aidan Hutchinson, without a doubt, is going to be dominant, especially if they get Myles Garrett. So Hutch will be returning.
Speaking of Aidan,
I'm posting it right now, boys. I'm sorry. I know.
QB sandwich. Jared Goff between pass rushers Aidan Hutchinson and Myles Garrett. I mean, this is what I call boots on the ground. This is what this is right here. You see this, like you see the Hutch, like whenever you see a picture of someone like that, he's like, like what's good, Myles? How you doing? And then you see Jared in the back, like he's giving his little 2 cents. He's like, oh yeah, for sure. He's back there. He's laughing. Like they're trying to riz this man up a little bit. All right.
Bring that man home. That's what they need to do right now. Look at that. Myles is loving this, dude. He's like, Hutch is like, Lombardi, hey, Super Bowl.
I mean, because you're not going to find. I mean, think of another team that has a top. We'll say for the sake of the conversation, top 3 edge rusher in Aidan Hutchinson, and a top 7-8 quarterback in Jared Goff that are looking for Myles Garrett, because you're going to have what he hasn't had on the other side of the football with a consistent quarterback in Jared Goff and a dominant defensive end on the other side of him. So the Lions, they provide Myles Garrett with a situation that I don't think any other team in the NFL can, because you can look at Philadelphia. Obviously, they're about to go compete in the Super Bowl, but they got Jalen Carter. They don't have a dominant edge, and I like Jalen Hurts a lot. Don't love him, but I'm taking Jared Goff over him. So I think when you look at Myles Garrett right now, like think about if the Packers were to walk up with Rashawn Gary and Jordan Love, Montez Sweat, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, and Alex Van Ginkel. Like the Lions do bring kind of a different dynamic. So when Myles Garrett's having these conversations, think about Jonathan Allen and Jaden Daniels is dope. Don't get me wrong. Like Jaden Daniels is fucking great, but Jonathan Allen, Aidan Hutchinson, which one do you want to play with Myles Garrett? So that's why I do think the Lions, I know it would be out of Brad's character to go get a big fish like Myles Garrett, but at the end of the day, nobody go gets Myles Garrett. Like you don't see players like Myles Garrett on the market outside of Von Miller, but that would be like trading for prime Denver Von Miller, not when he was kind of declining a little bit. Like you're getting Myles Garrett at his prime. So you don't see this very often. I think every NFL GM wants to go get Myles Garrett, but where does Myles Garrett wants to go? And you have to think of Detroit as an attractive destination.
Yeah, I mean, this picture is everything to me. All right, this is huge.
It's crazy,
and it's very, very obvious. And we talk about how the fans should feel, or at least how we feel, hoping fans feel the same way. Ahmed Ra on his podcast, Aidan and Jared. This is very straightforward. They want that man in a Lions uniform. Okay, I understand. Is it Brad's MO? I mean, is it out of character? Guys, we're humans. We all do things out of character all the time. All right, it's what happens. Brad, I don't care. All right, find a way to make it happen. Find a way. Find a way, please.
I don't see again, like these people who are like no on Myles Garrett. Like I just don't see a why, like a legit why. I really don't. I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, it's not really Brad's MO. Like, dude, unless Brad's contacting you and telling you what to say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. All right. Unless you have a direct link to Brad and he's like, hey, so-and-so, please tell them that I don't think like that. You don't know. None of us know what Brad's thinking. All right. So quit trying to be the condescending like comments are what bother me. when people are like, oh, like you don't know, you don't know how this works here, buddy. Like, of course, there's not going to get Myles Garrett. Like, dude, everyone can feel how they want to feel. If you don't want him, cool. If you do, awesome. I'm not going to like put people down for thinking a certain way. To me, it's you want Myles Garrett, absolutely. It's Brad's job and all those people's job in the front office to figure it out. So bring him home. Bring him home. Love that. Shout out to Jared Goff and Aidan Hutchinson. Now that's not complacency. All right. That's wanting to be better. It's like, hey,
being great.
Hey, Myles, how's the
great.
family? How is it in Cleveland? Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. Detroit's great. I mean, yeah, I can't really imagine being in Cleveland. Yeah, I heard Washington stinks too, but Detroit, man, I'm telling you.
You don't want to go back to Cleveland either. I mean, look at the quarterback situation with Deshaun Watson off the field. Look at Jared. He's having a kid. Now it's tonight, matter of fact. You might be looking for a godfather, Myles. You never know.
You want to go to Philly with those fans? Really?
And I'll say this too, boys.
Wow.
No.
There is a world, and maybe this is a wizard hat,
Don't.
not a Hutch Defensive Player of the Year hat, but a wizard hat, Booner, where those guys, again, the comments, and this is just me connecting some of the dots.
Connect them.
The comments from Aidan Hutchinson today. Hey, this is going to be a weird offseason. Some things might happen. And having these pictures with Myles Garrett, like, what are the odds that those two guys together walk up to Myles Garrett or vice versa, and they're having this conversation? Like, maybe they know something. Like, now I'm not saying Myles Garrett, but maybe Jared and Aidan have spoke with Brad Holmes, spoke with Dan Campbell. And there's that conversation about, like, hey, like, if you guys see Myles when you're down at the Super Bowl, like, hey, just so you know, like, we are pursuing that. So have those conversations with them. Like, that, I don't think that's that crazy of a wizard hat thing to think about at all. I really don't. And that's where it's like you see that. Like, do you guys really think if these rumors were going on, that picture would come out, or that those guys would all just be those three specific, Jared Goff, Aidan Hutchinson, and Myles Garrett, all just chopping it up at the NFL awards?
I mean, he went to Texas A&M too. Dan Campbell.
Yeah, like those three aren't like. Did they ever play with each other? Did they even play each other this year? Like, what do they have to talk about?
You never know.
There's
NFL players
I do know. Like connect the dots a little bit. Like, let's stop being so naive. Like,
no, but I'm not
there's
just saying, like,
major thing that connects those guys, and all it is trade rumors of Myles Garrett going to Detroit.
Yeah,
like that. Like, I could see Hutch and Myles Garrett because they're both one of the best edges in the class. And
what's Goff doing?
Oh, Goff over there too, just being like, hey, let's chop it up at the board. Like, no, Brad Holmes told them, hey,
he's like,
you see Myles, go make sure you guys put a good word in. I generally, like, this isn't like me. I take the wizard hat off. This is just obvious. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what else do they all have in common besides
Goff,
the trade?
Goff's just hanging in there. It's like, it's like he's that one friend, you're trying to pick up a chick and he's just over there hanging out. He's like, what's going on? Like, Goff's just in the vicinity.
He's got value. Maybe that friend has a nice house, nice indoor.
There's something you can offer.
Nice and ground. Yeah, something to offer. Like I said, back in Cleveland, you got Deshaun. In Philly, you got Jalen Hurts. That's nice. Packers, you got Jordan Love, JJ McCarthy. We got Goff. He ain't no Patrick Mahomes, but you're not going to no Kansas City. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's like Goff. Yeah, and he were in the MVP conversation. I mean, it's something slight. I mean, I had a good year.
Something like that.
It was all right. Well, I mean, Deshaun Watson.
He's gonna watch Dan Campbell win Coach of the Year in person.
He might have said that. He's gonna say, "Hey, stick around, man. See you wins Coach of the Year."
Come on.
Hey, I'm just.
Honestly,
I haven't seen any pictures of Dan Campbell there. That kind of worries me that he might not get the award, because typically, if you're getting the award, I think they know. So, like, if you're not, so you can show up, like, hey, you probably should be at the award show. You're going to win MVP. Or, hey, you're probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. You should be at the award show. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. I could be wrong. But
Lamar, I don't think's there.
Is Josh Allen?
I don't know.
Allen is
but my point is, I don't think some people just don't go.
Hey, no, I think I do. I legit think
you got to give a speech. Something.
Yeah, no, I legit think that they tell the guys before, if you won the award, like, is it worth flying all the way to the Super Bowl to do it? And I think that's been like a very well-known thing.
So what you're saying is Kevin O'Connell won?
If he's there. And if Josh Allen's
Dan
there,
Campbell's
Lamar's
Skyping
not. then I would hey, just connect the dots. Guys,
Is this how this
hey,
works? So, like, if the
guys,
guy's
listen.
missing, he didn't win.
Listen. Yeah, no,
Doc
I
is in the
honestly think that's it, because I've seen guys. Listen, the theme of today's show: connect the dots. Let's not be dumb.
What
here,
about
boys.
connect the tape? Can we do that?
You know what? Honestly, and I'll say this: I hopped on the stream literally 2 minutes before. Like, you guys saw me hop on too. I literally was here for 15 minutes. I have 3 things to tape in front of me. Shout out my cousins. I have scissors. I have Sharpies. I cannot figure out how to get this thing to connect.
Got it.
So we need to make some merch. So hopefully, I'll reach out to our guy Roman and see if we can get some Hutch Defensive Player of the Year 2025 merch. Caleb just posted. He just posted. He has the same exact hat. Yeah, pull it up. He has the same exact hat.
No, he didn't.
Doc, if I could ask for one favor in my whole life from you, can you write an article about me being the first one on the scene to Hutch Defensive Player of the Year and the leader of the campaign for next year, 2025?
Wow.
I'm indebted to you.
I mean, let's show Caleb. By the way, I mean, just give this man a follow if you haven't already. Shout out to Caleb. He's crushing it. But I mean, look at this guy. What?
He's in.
I mean,
he's in.
What?
And honestly, I think he's balancing that paper on his head. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Hey.
No, he's got the tape.
Oh, I see tape. There we go. Dude, hey, are we starting a trend? Are we starting a trend?
I mean, this is quite.
I don't even know if we make merch. I think we just ask, like, can we just get an all white hat with just the words?
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah. Maybe people just start tweeting out pictures with the picture on the hat, like the draw. Everyone do what you're doing.
Yeah, everyone write on it.
Yeah,
get a call going.
Get it. Yeah, make it spread. Get it spreading. All right. Hey, there's something else I've been wanting to mention to you guys, because a hot name right now. We can either get to the possible Lions signing, or we can get to Matt Miller's mock draft. Which direction we want to go here?
I have a vote.
I would rather
I would vote mock draft, Matt Miller.
Okay, we'll do mock draft.
All right, so Matt Miller's 2-round mock draft. He has the first 2 picks for the Detroit Lions. So I want to show you guys who, and honestly, I will give Matt Miller credit here, because his mock draft is actually pretty creative. And out of the Lions picks we'll get to, but just in general, like, he's got the Tennessee Titans thinking of Abdul Carter. Like, I haven't seen this one yet. So he has got a little different of a mock
National
draft.
Mock Thursday.
Like Travis Hunter going to Cleveland.
So who was one?
Abdul Carter.
I think that's the right pick. Maybe not for the Titans, but I think number 1 overall. I think Abdul Carter.
He's the best player. Yeah. Him or Travis Hunter. I think it would be. They both go 1 and 2. So, I mean.
Yeah, I heard a good point today, like the Jalen Carter thing. I can't remember who I was listening to now. I always forget. Someone had just brought up, like, how people love to give Howie Roseman credit for Jalen Carter, but it was like the guy was the number 1 overall pick for like 12 months, and then he has his incident and drops, and it was like
traded up to get him though.
But yeah, but like Howie was just like, all right, he just fell into my lap. Like, it wasn't like he was the best player in that draft class by a mile.
Yeah, the fact that
everyone knew.
Fell,
so it's like whoever it was like brought up a good point where it was like it's hard to give Howie, be like, he found some insane talent at number 9. Like, he didn't find anything. Jalen Carter was the number 1 overall consensus pick until a month before the draft.
Yeah, that's always a big debate in sports. I've gotten into a lot of those debates, like giving credit versus like the obvious pick.
Yeah,
I always like even Aidan, obvious pick, but I always give a GM credit for not messing it up. You know what I mean? It's so easy in today's NFL to mess up a pick. So I get it though. I mean, like, I still give Brad credit for not messing that up, taking Kayvon Thibodeau and being like, ooh, the upside, and then now we're like, and then years later. But yeah, Abdul Carter 1, Travis Hunter 2, Cam Ward goes to the Giants at 3.
Thank God.
And then New England, Mason Graham. It's a great pick for them. Number 5,
huge,
Jacksonville takes Will Johnson. That's a great pick for them. Las Vegas, they take Shedeur Sanders.
They should.
Yeah, like, I like the draft, honestly.
Great pick for them.
Will Campbell, tackle.
Love that for them.
Yep. And then the Panthers take Jalen Walker. I almost said Jalen Carter. We just talked about him. Jalen Walker, edge, another Georgia player. T-Mac goes to the Saints. Wow.
I mean, that's a good pick for them, Clancy. One thing you always talk about with the Saints is how bad, like, the weapons there outside of Kamara, like how old like some of those guys are getting, and that's good for them. They need to kind of
they can
reload.
take a player at any
Yeah, you
position.
could honestly close your eyes and just take a player, and they'll
Best
probably
player
be there.
available.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Calvin Banks goes to the Bears. 11 49ers take Josh Simmons. Is it Simons or Simmons?
Simmons.
Simmons. He's the guy who played some guard this year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, plug and play right tackle.
No. You're thinking
Different guy?
forgetting his name. You're thinking of the guard that got moved out. This is the guard Donovan Jackson, I want to say his name is.
There you go.
Yeah, he's gonna be like late first, day 2 guy. He's just the
Okay,
tackle.
gotcha. All right, so Josh,
hurt.
but he's the best. Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. First round pick, Josh Simmons. 12, Matthew Golden, wide receiver, goes to the Cowboys. They pass on Ashton Genty. Wow, Matthew Golden. 13, the Dolphins take an offensive tackle, Armand Membu. We'll just go with that.
We'll roll with
Colts
it.
take
Jeff
Tyler Warren.
first names.
I
One
hate this
rivalry in
pick.
the world. Yeah, this is tough for them.
I would be
but-
so mad if I was a Colts fan and they didn't address the defensive side of the football.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Jackson
actually,
Dart.
Klotz not wrong. Isn't wrong. They do need a tight end, but you could probably get one later in the draft, or you can go pick one up. in free
Sign
agency
one
or
in free
something.
agent. Like you're a first round
But-
pick for a rebuilding organization. Tight end, where
Yeah.
you going?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll be good there. I mean, I honestly, I don't know. I have a Colts take that not many people might like. And I just don't think like tight end's gonna help that out. So
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I'm with
Colts need
quarterback.
more than a tight
I think they
end.
need a new quarterback. I'm out on Anthony
Yeah.
Richardson.
What
And
is
I don't think
Tyler
that-
Warren going to do for you?
That's
this
what I'm
year?
saying. Like, if you draft Tyler Warren, it's like, okay, like you still have to deal with like I'm with Klotz. Like, you might as well just build your defense until you can find another quarterback. And that might not be a popular opinion. And it's just because Anthony Richardson dude just gets hurt. Like, he's just in and out of the lineup constantly. Whether he's getting hurt, he's getting benched, he's this, he's that. It's like, dude,
That's a
like,
good spot for Matthew Stafford, honestly.
yeah, great spot. I saw too, like the Steelers. I saw the Steelers, and then I saw people being like, "No, don't take this trade." I was like Matthew Stafford for a first round pick to the Steelers. Like, Steelers are over that edge because they never have a legit quarterback, and they have a good defense. And like finally they can get a quarterback. They're going to win something with Mike Tomlin. Like, they'll finally win a playoff game.
Tyler Warren goes 14th, 15th. Michael Williams
These Georgia guys, man.
to the Falcons. Yeah, these Georgia guys. Jahdae Barron goes to the Cardinals.
That's kind of a reach. I like
Yeah.
him though.
Yeah, cornerback goes to the Cardinals. The Bengals take Shamar Stewart. Someone bites. Shamar Stewart, edge, Texas A&M.
At least they go on the defensive side of the football. I keep seeing Tyler Warren being mocked there. And again, why? Like Joe Burrow even said today that he wants Mike Gesicki coming back to the
Loves
Bengals,
him.
and that's not going to take a whole lot of money either. And what was like the whole conversation if the Bengals had a what defense?
Defense.
They could potentially be in the playoffs. So to not go defense probably for the first 2 picks would be insane unless you're addressing offensive line.
18, Jahad Campbell. That's Ryan's guy in the chat. Shout out to Ryan. He loves it.
Jahad Campbell's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
not bad.
he's
It's good for the Seahawks defense. Always keeps just getting stacked up. They do a good job of just drafting defense.
Yeah, and again, you get to play for Mike McDonald. So Jahad Campbell, really good player there. 19, Luther Burden, the third, goes to the Bucs.
Great wide receiver. Bet on him a ton this year, by the way. Love to bet on Luther Burden.
And then they take a wide receiver there. Broncos take Colson Loveland. I think that's a great pick for them. Now at 20, now you're talking about a team that needs offensive weapons. Like
This should be Genty, without a doubt. You're going to
Klotz,
tell
all
me
right.
that Colson Loveland is going to make more of an impact.
Can I make an argument with you though with this?
Okay.
If you're the Broncos, how deep this running back class is, if you can get Colston Loveland, and then in the second round you go get one of those Ohio State running backs, or you go get one of these other running backs that are in the draft with how deep it is, and you can come out of this draft class in the first 2 rounds with an elite tight end, could be one of the best in the league at some point, and then a very good running back, and a guy that Peyton can work with. Mike Payton, Sean Payton.
yeah, Sean.
I don't know where I got Mike from, but Sean Payton can work with. I think that's a big win for the Broncos. Because if you flip it, like you can go Gentry, but are you going to get a Colston Loveland in the second, third, fourth, fifth round? No. So you might as well get a Colston Loveland and try and find your favorite running back outside of Gentry. I think that's very fair.
I don't think what you're saying
Scadaboo,
is bad.
Scadaboo in the second.
But again, just like you're saying, there's a drop off from Colston Loveland to like Elijah Arroyo. There's a drop off from Ashton Gentry and pretty much every running back prospect in this draft, and it's clear like he was the best running back we've seen in college football since Barry Sanders. This is a guy that's staying in the area, and nothing helps a rookie quarterback. Like rookie quarterbacks and tight ends are nice, but now you have a guy who's not going to be a rookie quarterback, played very well, and now you're going to give him a legit run game because they like Audric Estime a lot as well, power running back to go with. Now you bring in that. Like that, I think that makes a day one impact way more than Colston Loveland.
So you would rather have Ashton Gentry than Colston Loveland and Scadaboo? Is it Scadaboo? I think it's Scadaboo.
Scadaboo, whatever. I think I would rather have I would rather have Gentry and then Elijah Arroyo.
That's not the answer or the question.
But you're saying you're
I know, but I want you to pick one or the other.
Pick, though, Boone.
I know. I want to. That's the point of this. I just.
Would I rather have the pick is? Would I rather have Colston Loveland or
Scadaboo?
It's no. There's if we're bringing second.
I'm making my own scenario.
Yeah,
I'm making up my own scenario.
Can I make road? I'm not driving down.
Listen, I know. I want to make up a scenario because I want to see how you value Ashton Gentry. Would you rather take Ashton Gentry on his own or get Loveland and Scadaboo? I'm trying to see the value of Gentry in your mind.
Would I rather have two good players or one good player? I'd rather have two good players.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. So that's my thought.
I'm
trying.
I gotta call you out on that.
Because if Gentry, listen, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that's the real thing. But to me, I'm trying to see the value of how Lucas looks at Gentry. If Gentry is like going to be that Hall of Fame type running back, you would probably take Gentry over the two guys. Like that's where I'm looking at it with Klotzy.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
I'm with you, Boone. I personally.
That's all I was looking at. I wasn't saying it's realistic or not.
I mean, you know how. Listen, I'm not going to have to go down this running back in the first round thing. But my point is I'm with Booner. I think the drop off from Loveland to the other tight ends, once you get down, once you get past the two first rounders, rumored, I would rather have Loveland than a running back in the second. I think Gentry's going to be he's going to be good, but I'm with Booner on that. I would rather have you can draft whatever tight end you want. You know, they all got a little juice to them. I like it. It's awesome. But Loveland, dude, is going to be a dog. Yeah,
by the way, offensive rookie of the year.
He didn't like it.
Hey,
Jaden
Daniels, offensive rookie of the year. The voting. Guess what the voting was? 49 Jaden Daniels votes. Brock Bowers won. It was like almost unanimous.
That's kind of fucked. Not gonna lie.
A blowout. Bo Nix didn't even get a vote.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think
I see a lot of people tweeting out Bo Nix robbed.
Oh, I'll even say that's ridiculous, man.
Move on from the Broncos pick, though. We're just gonna be arguing back and forth.
All right, 21, Emeka Egbuka, Steelers.
Steelers.
Good for them. Hey, them and their wide receivers. That's the one thing they haven't figured out.
Hey, they'll love him way more than George Pickens. I'll tell you that.
Yes. Yeah. And he's locked in too. He's dialed in. Very good player.
Great player. Great at it. Like that's
good
a guy.
Culture guy.
Yeah, great culture guy.
And I say that coming from Michigan, man.
Yeah.
Too. I like Egbuka.
Everywhere I've read, everyone loves Emeka Egbuka. So
everyone I've talked to too.
22 Ashton. There you go.
Wow, that's good for them. That's huge.
They take Ashton Gentry, Boise State. Yeah, at this point, Loveland was off the board. So
whoa.
Let me ask you this: who would make more of an impact day one for the Chargers? Colston Loveland or Ashton Gentry?
I don't mean to disrupt the boys again. Patrick Surtain just won Defensive Player of the Year. That's big news.
What?
For him.
Cornerback Patrick Surtain just won Defensive Player of the Year.
That was the right pick, honestly. I like that a lot. He shut down. He literally
shut down
every receiver.
First corner since 2000, or first DB, not even corner, first DB since 2010. Good for him, dude. Wow. That's crazy though, dude.
2010. Didn't Stephon Gilmore win it with the Pats in like 18?
I don't know.
I just
saw
but it's
Mike Garofalo. Oh, second. Sorry, Mike Garofalo misread his tweet. He said just the second DB to win it since 2010. I thought.
That's still.
And he's young, man.
The thing I'll say this, Klotzy, about the whole impact thing. I think with the modern day NFL, man, these tight ends are basically receivers. Like so, I think in a game, like in a game, Ashton Genty, I'm not taking anything away. My philosophy is in the second, I like the running back class enough where I think you can get a really good running back, not a pretty good. I think you can get a really good running back. Like, but if you have a tight end on the board that's basically a hybrid wide receiver, like that dude is on a different
Name me a tight end not named Brock Bowers that has been drafted in the first round and has turned around an offense.
Okay, hold on here. Okay.
I'm now honestly.
I'm just saying.
This we're talking about I know in general, first round tight ends, not a popular thing. I'm not in love with it either. I don't think you should draft tight ends in the first round or running backs, if I'm being honest. But when it comes to modern day NFL, man, like I don't think it's as like, oh, Ashton Genty, great player. Think he'll make a great impact. But who do I want a part of my franchise for a decade? And by the way, that won't potentially get worn down in 4 years. I would go Colston Loveland. Yeah, that dude can play for 10, 13, 14 years. You know what I mean? And be pretty good for you.
Yeah.
Like Ashton Genty, we don't even know if, again, great player, but come on.
I'm with Jeff on this. Like, I don't think, and maybe this is going to be a bad take. I don't think Genty's going to be like a Saquon or like a Jameer.
I think I don't think
I would rather have Colston Loveland.
I don't think he'll be a Saquon, but I think when you look at him year one, he'll probably without a doubt get 1,000 yards unless he's just behind some atrocious offensive line, which I don't think will be the case. But if you think about Dalton Kincaid, like that's who Colston Loveland's comp to all the time. Like, what is Dalton Kincaid? Like, I don't think that's a guy you spend the first round pick on. Ashton Genty, he only had one real year where he was given the ball. Like he still has a ton of tread on his tires. It's like, okay, maybe 10 years down the line, but when you look at the Broncos and Chargers, they're in a position where they can make a move to win now, and they both need help on the offensive side of the ball. They need yards. They need a playmaker.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty is probably, at least at the running back position, the best playmaker. Like Colston Loveland, like very good tight end. I'm not saying trying to sound like he's not.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But you've seen running backs completely transform the way that an offense is. You've seen it in the modern NFL this year. Like, look at Saquon Barkley. Look at Derrick Henry. When you look at just Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, like these running backs, like were crucial this year. And so I think if you can get a Ashton Genty behind Justin Herbert in that offensive line or Bo Nix and give him a legit running game instead of Javonte Williams, so now he can have a play action threat, get Marvin Mims going down the field deep. Like, I'd take Genty over Loveland easily.
Let's move on here. The Packers take Josh Connerly Jr.
The Mike Green victim.
Is that really what it was? Is that what he is?
Yeah.
24. The Vikings.
I would say that's a tough look, dude.
The Vikings take Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss had some good defensive guys this year too, by the way.
The Texans take Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. They take a guard. Yeah, that's the right pick there. Rams, Azarie.
Your guess is as good as mine. I that sounds correct though.
I need to watch some film or see this guy a little bit because I didn't watch a bit of Florida State this year.
Look at this one. Hey, Boone, say this one.
Jonah Saviane.
Hey, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. I like that. Sure. Offensive tackle guard, Arizona, and then the Lions take Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon.
I would like to ask you guys a question because I've been seeing this a lot lately. And Derek, I'm just interested to see on your guys' thoughts on defensive tackle in the first round.
No.
Okay.
You have enough.
We
had
have the same thought process then because I was thinking I've seen a million guys that have done mock drafts with the Lions and 28 overall. Guess who they're taking? A D tackle. And look at the name you see in there, Levi O, expiring like. This feels like just one of those like, hey, Lions love tweeners. They love defensive tackles. It's like, I'm out. I'm out.
Derek Harmon played at Michigan State and then went to Oregon, and he's from Detroit. Now, take the bias out of it. Just looking at him, he's 6'5", 310 pounds. Had 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles this year. Do I want a defensive tackle? No, I don't. But this man is huge. And I know this. But he
Stop.
played for Oregon too. He's not like a
I don't know.
Broderick
Look
Martin.
at what Oregon's defense did in the college football playoffs. They shit the bed. Dude, we had Josh Pascal, DJ Reader, Ali McNeil. We have Broderick Martin who's supposed to develop, and now you're going to take a guy in the first round. The last thing this fucking defense need on the defensive line is the defensive interior. Go get that in the second and third round.
I
don't give a
agree.
damn.
I agree.
You're telling me, and I know
He's
not you,
6'5",
Jeff,
310.
specifically, but you're telling me this mock draft that we're just going to continue to look. Aidan Hutchinson needs help. Year 1. Year 2, Aidan Hutchinson needs help. Year 3, Aidan Hutchinson needs help. And now you're just going to draft another rotational defensive tackle? Well, why'd you fire DJ Reader? What do you do with DJ Reader? The trade value you'd get if you trade him is going to be like a 6th-round pick. The dude might even retire if you trade him somewhere. This would be a waste of a pick. Waste of a pick. If you draft a defensive tackle in the first round, it is a waste of a pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like it would be ridiculous to go defensive. Like it would. I'm with Klotz. I think that's a simple thought process. Waste of a pick, 100%. I've seen people go Kenneth Grant. I love Kenneth Grant. To me, it's like and I think Brad's been like best player available, best player. But again, like Jeff, to your point, like has he always done that? Because there's been times where we've seen him veer off of that and go get players that you do need. And like you've seen him do it, but he says BPA. Does he always mean it though? And for me, it's like if you're gonna get a defensive lineman, what's the hashtag, boys? Edge to the D. That's all that should matter is bringing an edge rusher to the Detroit Lions. And obviously things change if you get a Myles Garrett or if you go get someone else. But as of right now, where the Detroit Lions stand, where we are at as a defense, you need to get another edge rusher across from Aidan Hutchinson. You need to do it. And the best value to me, boys, and the best skill set is in the first round. Like you're not going to find a guy right away on the opposite side of Hutch in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Like those are guys, again, developmental guys or guys that you hope, maybe a guy drops. Like if you want a guy right away to come in and help you out, it's at 28 and it's at the edge position. That should be at bottom line, no question. And it's like the defensive tackles. I would love to have some people on who are putting the Lions get defensive tackles. There's even people in Detroit that are doing it. And it's like, for me, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. The argument sometimes is, DJ Reader's older. Do you have DJ Reader next year? Am I missing something?
This season you will. Next season, like 2026,
but then if you don't have,
but
again, if you don't have DJ Reader, like what did you do this last year without DJ Reader? You went and signed him in the offseason. So you just go sign another defensive tackle. Go find someone else. But this next year and the year after, while you do have DJ Reader, you need someone on the other side of Aidan Hutchinson. You need it. There's no question. There should be no other pick, in my opinion. Like if they go out there, like even guys, like I'm at the point to where it's like if you drafted offensive lineman at 28, I'm gonna throw my mic across the room. Like I think there's a glaring need on this defense, and I think we are not even on the defense, on this team. And we all know what it is, and you have an opportunity. Unless you go trade for someone, you have an opportunity at 28 to try and find a guy that can do that.
Yeah, Ryan says Jared Ivey, round 2, Boone.
Hey, there
Klotzy.
we go. Double down.
Go, Klotzy.
Right,
no, Derek Harmon, we're all out. It should be an edge. We all agree there. Yeah, it's always
and outfitting right after like a
James Pierce Jr. to the Commanders, of course.
Read the room, dude.
Yeah.
Bad mock.
Let's see. Anything? Mark Green goes 31.
Pass on him, dude. Let Howie Roseman
Philly
take
get
Mike Green.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Kenneth Grant to Kansas City.
I mean, the thing with like Kansas City is they have rushers. Like they're able to make those picks. Like the Lions right now just don't. Like they haven't. You have to go. You have a glaring need. You do.
So we'll keep going. Donovan Jackson. That's the guy I was talking about. Yep. All right, we'll keep it going. Jack Sawyer goes 38 to the Patriots.
There we go. 38.
28 through 40.
27. 27 through 40.
No. It was 28.
I moved it to 27 at the end of the show.
Yeah, that we had a bet that you apparently had that conversation when I wasn't around. We had a bet it was 28 through 40.
All right, fair.
I would rather have Jack Sawyer at 28 than Derek Harmon. I'll say that. Yeah. I'll take Jack Sawyer over this dude. Vrabel will love that man. He will love Jack Sawyer. All right. Bears take Amarion Hampton. Yep. Jackson Dart to the Saints. That's a good pick.
I like that.
They take T-Mac in the first. You got to think now. Jackson Dart and T-Mac and Chris Olave.
Rashid Shaheed too.
By the way, Saquon or offensive player of the year. So, you know.
Yeah, this should
Yeah,
be.
well deserved. Jets take Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers.
Ugh.
Honestly, hey, what other quarterbacks have gone in front of him?
So it's
Yeah,
just
the three.
just the three. Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Cam, Schroder, and Jackson Dart.
What is this guy's name?
Who?
Mike
Miller. Mike
Miller.
Works for
The shooter?
Strap. Memphis
No,
Grizzlies
not the
legend.
shooter.
All right. South Dakota legend or North Dakota legend as well.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Miller's dead wrong. Why would you have Quinn Ewers being the third quarterback off the board?
No,
be
four.
Jackson. Who was the third one?
The
Jackson
Saints
Dart.
took Jackson. Dart.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, great. The Saints did.
Yeah.
Wow. So they have him and Spencer Rattler. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
They took him at 40 right here.
And then I would go. What's his name out of Oregon? That's what I would do.
Dylan Gabriel.
I like that
Yeah.
one.
Like I want to go Quinn yet. I don't trust Quinn. I think Quinn
He's a
has
third
like
round guy.
he has a good ceiling. Like I'll stand on that. Quinn has a very high ceiling. He just has some work to be done, man. Consistency.
Yeah, Dylan's experience. He's gonna have a higher floor. Like
Yeah, like dude, Quinn. The thing with Quinn, it's just like, dude, he makes unbelievable plays, unbelievable throws, but then he has like these brain farts and these slip ups to where you're like, dude, what are you doing? Like that was the worst pass. You just made one of the best plays of the college football season, and then you just made one of the worst. And like that's where to me, and he hasn't won it. He's never won a big game. I feel like that's a big problem.
we'll keep it going here. Okay, let's see. 46, 47. Nothing really. Well, JT
JT and 49, I feel like
and
is a
they
steal.
took
Shamar
Stewart in the first, so they take the risk. Then they get the high floor. I don't
I
hate
feel like
that.
that's a steal for them.
Yeah,
49.
Yeah, that's a good pick, actually. Great pick. Caleb Johnson. Look at Steelers take Judkins. 52. There he goes. Let's see. Keep it going here. Let's see.
Mason Taylor.
Get to the Lions. Yeah.
Let's slow down a little bit. Hold on.
Well, if there's anyone you want to stop at, let me know.
I just want to see the names to see. Yeah, you were just going like I think there's a delay on our end to where when you're scrolling it goes like glitches.
a little laggy.
Yeah, so we don't see
All right,
some of the
so
names.
Quincy Riley. There you go. These. Jalen
By the way, I heard
Jalen
something with
Wilson.
corners in the draft, boys, and it was interesting. Again, it was what's John Gruden that I've been listening to every day because his football mind, boys. But like he was talking about wingspans with corners, and like the only way he drafts a corner and brings him in is if his wingspan is bigger than his height. And he said Pat Riley taught him that, and he said he's been able to find so many good corners. And he was like, "That's the one thing I look for." Because like if you don't have a wingspan he's like if you don't have a wingspan that's if your wingspan's not as big as how tall you are or bigger, he was like, you're just not going to be a good corner. He was like, that's how you figure out who a good corner. You got to have arms. You got to have long arms.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Surtain, Gilmore.
Yeah,
Soft.
and when he said that, I was like, I mean, dude, he's not wrong at all. Like, and I mean, that's one of the best defensive mind, or not defensive, but you know what I mean.
No, he is. He's a defensive guy.
Football minds. That's what I'm saying. Football.
So Jared Wilson's
Football
the pick at
pedigree.
60. Center out of Georgia. I looked into him. Very good this year for Georgia. He had, let me see, he allowed zero sacks this year. I think he's allowed 1 sack in his entire career. And he played some guard, but mainly started at center every snap this year. I mean, it's pretty well rounded. Like I don't know. It's like I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. But I don't like hate the pick. Like we all talk about an offensive lineman past the first round at some point. I don't mind this. I know I see some people in the comments like offensive lineman at 60. If you take it now, if it was a different draft, like defensive end at 28, and you take a center at 60.
It's weird, yeah, because you're coming out of this draft already. Your top 2 picks is a defensive tackle who you have 2 of the best in the NFL, and then you take a center, and that's a Frank. Like it feels like Mike Miller. Yeah, I almost said Mac.
It might be Matt Miller, actually.
Matt Miller, whoever it is. Like I just feel like he's looking at it more so how Brad's been drafting and developmental. In that mindset. And that's where it's like I think, and again, like maybe Brad does that again. But I mean, I would love to see the chat's opinion. If Brad does that again, I'm sure we all would be like, "What are you doing?" And like, yeah, there's gonna be that crowd that's trusting Brad. But like, yeah, like these guys, like if you draft a guy in the first round and second round, and you're not getting production next year out of that, that's such a fail. You should be wanting to TP houses at that point. Like,
I
you look at the
You
Chiefs and
said
these
wanting
guys.
to TP house.
But like, dude, look at the Chiefs and the Eagles and the 49ers. Like, their first two, I gave you guys the examples last week when we were talking about trading the picks. Like, these guys make picks of guys who make impacts instantly, right? Like, this mock draft here is just you're drafting guys who aren't going to get on the field.
No, you're
because
right.
of who you have. So it's like these are wasted draft picks when you're in a Super Bowl window. You have to get guys who are going to be at least in the first two rounds. Like, I get after the second round, if you want to go developmental, like I'm all in for that. But these first two rounds, to me, like the proof's in the pudding. Go look at the contenders right now. Go look at their last 5 or 6 drafts, and go look at their first two picks in every single one of those drafts. Like, they're guys who contend and play as rookies instantly. And that's where it's like Jared Wilson won't touch the field for 2 years. He won't. Knock on wood, unless an injury.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-round mock. Not a fan of it.
Give that a D. Give it a D.
Matt Miller, that's his name.
F.
Mike Miller. Yeah, Matt Miller. That's.
I'll give it an F.
Man. Defensive tackle at 28, you immediately get an F. And then Mike Green and James Pierce Jr. go after him. So, yeah, we'll
and
let
Kenneth
that
Grant,
slide.
who's probably the better defensive tackle.
Yeah, no doubt. Do you see Joe Burrow just won comeback player of the year?
That's what the award was. Okay, I had the video just on my screen, and I just saw Joe Burrow accepted an award. I was like, I think how long was he hurt last year for? How many games?
Well,
Couldn't tell you.
was the year
Was
prior to last year?
He won it. He was like banged up throughout the whole year, pretty much. Remember, he entered the season with like a wrist injury.
How does he win
They
comeback
left.
player then?
Oh, was it last year? Oh yeah, no, it was last year. Because remember, I had to hear who was the backup quarterback? Oh my God,
Oh
Browning.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jake
yeah.
Browning. Yeah,
Jake
people-
Brown. I had
Jake
to hear
Burr.
Easy say Jake Burr.
Yeah.
Shit was so annoying.
Yeah. No, that's fair. He deserves it then. I just hate when people win it and they like weren't hurt. It was just I think the NFL actually had sent out to the people who vote and like said like these are the rules on comeback player of the year, just so you know. Like emphasized it. Like people voting for like Joe Flacco winning it last year. Like, man,
Yeah, like, it doesn't.
I saw someone make a joke like the dude just came back from his couch. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
nowhere, bro.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Hey, Michael's saying that opens the door for Hutch to be comeback player of the year.
Yeah, no, honestly, I actually saw something about it like a month ago after the Hutch injury. I like saw someone be like, "Hey, defensive player of the year and comeback player of the year in the same year." Because if he wins defensive player of the year, you automatically have to give him comeback, right? Like that means he's like the best at his position off a broken leg.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Well, speaking of coming back, will Carson Davis come back? We don't know. What I do know is there's going to be another player that what?
You say
Yeah, what?
Carson
You
Davis?
definitely said Carson.
I said Carlton Davis.
It just sounded weird then.
Yeah, I was gonna say run the tape back,
Hey,
man.
listen, I know you got me on Bruce. You're not going to
Dude, I don't know if I'm the only. The chat might have heard the same thing we did. I hope I can't run it back. We'll love the chat to run it back. Sound like Carson Daly or something. I was like,
Are you going to let me? Are you going to let me?
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Carlton Davis. Will he be back? And who will be his replacement? I did not say Carson. I swear to God. Now the whole show's off the rails. No, ahead, take it away, Boone. You introduce it. You go ahead.
Well, Carson
You gotta
Davis. be a
take- you
Detroit
gotta
Lion
take-
next year?
Yeah, you gotta take it, Jeff. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what you
You
want
know
us
what,
to do.
Should the Lions sign Paulson Adebo? Yes.
Klotz, you're our
Go
corner
ahead. Klotzy, what do you think? Paulson
a
Adebo.
corner guy. a wide
I'm a
receiver slash
Paulson
corner
Adebo
coach.
fan.
Everyone
I think
loves
when you
Paulson
look at him,
Adebo.
Paulson Adebo is probably the best defensive back as far as the corner room that the Saints would have left. They got to let him walk, though, because financially they're fucked. They have just literally the worst contract situation in the NFL right now, so he's going to walk. The only thing is just he's a little inconsistent, but he's a physical fucking corner. Like, he's going to fit exactly what Kelvin Shepard and Dan Campbell want him to do. Fits the mold of what the Saints were doing with Dennis Allen. Obviously, Dennis Allen, AG, Dan Campbell, they're all kind of part of the same philosophy of what they got going on. And he's a younger player, too. So you look at Carlton Davis, he's kind of older, but he obviously has that experience, but he's not really going to grow that much. Paulson Adebo is a guy that you put him with Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold. He can really develop. He's definitely not a true corner one. Like, I'd say Carlton Davis is better, but Paulson Adebo, if they sign him to a 3-4 year contract, He's taking a risk, but there's a lot of upside with him. So good in run support, good man-to-man guy. Just not the biggest corner on the outside, but he can play on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Klotz. I'll just say this. My priority number one, I've said this for a while, and maybe Carlton's dad's watching as we found out he's a fan of the show, Carlton Davis II. I think Carlton's priority number one defensively to get back on this roster. Honestly, not even defensively, just your free agent as a whole. Like, I think it goes number one, Carlton Davis, and number two, Kevin Zeitler. I don't know if you guys disagree with that, but I do believe like Carlton and Paulson the deep. I'm sure these guys he would be unbelievable on this team. I just think that like with Carlton, he's already been here. He knows the system. I mean, it's not like you're really changing up the coordinators. Like Kelvin's going to probably be running like similar schemes, a lot of similar concepts. He's been here already. Like, you know what you're getting out of him. And like, to me, like, you know what the price, like if you're going to spend that much money on a corner, boys, like get what you know you have. Like, that's how I look at this. That's how I look at it. And it's like, give him a 2-year deal, 2 years, $30 million. I'll take that deal. Would you guys take that deal? 2 years, $30 million, Carlton Davis? Yes.
Yeah.
Take that deal.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about the Terrion contract until Carlton's up. And you just run with those two guys for the next 2 years and let them develop together and play together. That's where I'm at with it. We could pull all these other names. To me, I think they all are good options. And if it happens, someone actually just put a whole list here. Let me just pull this out real quick. Hold on. I want to go back. Did you guys see that list? Someone put a list of who they wanted. Also, Adebo, DJ Reed, Travarius Ward. Like, yeah, if you go get any of those guys, like, yeah, we know they can play. We know how good they are. We know. But to me, it's the familiarity of Carlton Davis in this defense that is attractive to me. And if you're going to pay a guy money, I think like that Dan and we guys, we know how Dan Campbell works. He loves his guys. He loves them, and he'll do anything he can to bring them back and just continue to get better with them. So that's how I think they're going to approach it. But yeah, I mean, if they end up moving on and go Paulson Adebo, am I going to be mad? No. Here we go. Hey, we move.
I mean, the guy gets picks though. Only played in 7 games, 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he gets
four or
he
five.
gets picks, man. And Carlton, he's the number one priority. You want him to resign. Want to make that very clear, just in case Pops is listening. Hey, Pops, we want Carlton Davis back.
Hey, you Pops?
Pops, is that you?
We want Carlton Davis back. He's a. It's very rare to find a guy like that. It just is, unless you're drafting one, and hopefully Terran Arnold can turn into one. But we don't know. We know what Carlton is. He's a top 10 to 15 corner, wherever you want to put him. He's very good. And I understand he misses a couple games a year. That's the only, I guess, knock you'd put on him. He's just always banged up every year, which is fine because when he plays, he's very good. But they love him in the building. So he's number one. But if it's not him, it's Paulson Adebo. Give me Paulson Adebo. He's 25 years old. He's coming off he hasn't really been injured in his career. He came off a pretty bad injury this year. But from every time he steps on the field, dude, he's getting turnovers. He's creating turnovers. Played at Stanford. He's not just one of those zone corners that gets a bunch of picks.
No.
Like he's a good man-to-man corner, dude. I've watched the Saints very rarely, but when I do, Paulson Adebo this year, I was okay. Last year, okay. Who's this guy? He's a dog. And the Lions love guys who can take the ball away. And Carlton gets his hands on a lot of footballs. But Paulson Adebo, he would be a good replacement if he were to leave Carlton.
I doubt there's any chance that he returns either. Like, if you're a free agent for the Saints, why?
Oh, you're out of there.
And because they're not offering you any money. Like, they're offering you bare bones, even if they can.
Yeah, I wonder. I think Paulson Adebo would be a little more of a deal too because he's coming off with an injury. I don't know what that would look. I think Carlton's going to be offered a bag. That's the only thing I'm curious about.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to raise, give a raise.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Even the team, like if you think about it, I know they don't make big moves, but I think Carlton at this point wouldn't be considered like a huge move. Like a team like Cincinnati, where they need anything, they could easily go win a Super Bowl. We talked about the Lions throwing them 2 for 30. They throw 2 for 38 or something like that. Like Carlton Davis. Well, I know, and Boone, this isn't saying to you directly, like Brad and Dan love their guys, but Carlton Davis isn't one of their guys. Like, that's not somebody they draft and develop. He's somebody they brought in for a year, see what would happen. And they even said when they brought him in, like, there's no guaranteeing he's returning. So if Carlton Davis doesn't leave, I would fully expect Brad to have a plan. If Brad were to let Carlton Davis walk and don't address it with a proven guy, that's definitely like a okay, what is your true plan, especially if you don't bring Myles Garrett. If you let Carlton Davis walk, you sign another rookie cornerback, or draft another rookie cornerback, but you bring in Myles Garrett. I don't give a damn. But if you're not getting a Myles Garrett, you got to make sure that cornerback position is better than what it has been the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I think I think Paulson Adebo's projected numbers like 11 or 12 million a year. So it's a little lower. Who knows? But we'll see. You probably save a little money too. Hey, we got about 8 minutes till Mailbag. I do want to shift the con, but we haven't really talked Super Bowl at all this week. So I want to get in. I want to get into that. I don't know. I don't know. It is. I'm not as fired up about it, if I'm being honest. I think a part of that, obviously, being a Lions fan, pisses me off. But the other part of it is, it's like am I the only one? Chat, please, Phil, call me out on this if I'm wrong. I already know how this is going to end. How this is going to end. Either A, Chiefs take care of the Eagles pretty decisively, or B, it's a close game and Patrick Mahomes does some shit like he always does and wins it at the last second, or finds a way, need a drive in the fourth quarter. He gets it. Eagles can't. Something. I don't see a scenario in which the Chiefs don't win this Super Bowl. I don't. This Super Bowl, however you want to phrase it. I don't see a scenario where they don't win, Klotzy, if I'm being honest. I think the Eagles are a great team. But man, the Chiefs, to me, it's like getting to the point where they're a dynasty. If they win this, they'll be the only team, especially in my lifetime, but I think NFL history, to ever three-peat in the Super Bowl era. So it's like, will we be live? Yes. Will we be enjoying it? Yes. But let's not act like we don't know the result of this game already. All right.
Yeah. I feel like it's inevitable. I would say, because the Eagles are so loaded on paper compared to most of the NFL, the Chiefs are talented. Last week against Buffalo, I would say they were the more talented team, even though people wouldn't say that when you look at it. But if you look at Buffalo last couple of years, I think on paper they've been more talented overall. But the Chiefs this year, they've found the rhythm, especially through the air. Like, my whole thing about the Chiefs were like, I don't know if they're going to be able to go to the Super Bowl, is they weren't putting up points or yards, at least through the air. Patrick Mahomes didn't look like Patrick Mahomes. And you saw when Hollywood Brown came back week 17, you saw a glimpse. He got hurt, but then you see Xavier Worthy the last couple of weeks. He's starting to pick it up. And now Patrick Mahomes, it's playoff time. He's going to use his legs. The Philadelphia Eagles have to play perfect. And over the last couple of weeks, they've been dead last in the NFL throwing the football. Offensively, you have to be perfect if you're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, because we talk about the refs. That's going to be a factor. You already know that. But if you're not able to throw the ball, you can have Saquon all you want, because if you take an 8-minute drive with Saquon, Patrick Mahomes will gladly go down the field in 1:24 and put up a touchdown on you. I don't care how good your defense is. You got 2 rookie corners out there, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship. Patrick Mahomes had to face more intimidating foes than that. So he's not scared by this Eagles defense. He's not scared by Nick Sirianni. He's not scared by Jalen Hurts. He's probably going to go in there. He has the pressure of the three-peat, but he's just got to play Patrick Mahomes football. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, you have to figure out a way to get that air attack going, and you have to be perfect. I don't think this is a situation, Jeff, we were talking about on Bleacher Report, like people are going to say, well, Jalen Hurts just needs to hand the ball off to Saquon and play point guard. No, Jalen Hurts has to put this offense in a position where they're consistently putting up points. If this is a defensive game, if this is a low-scoring game, Jeff, to your point, Patrick Mahomes is going to win the game. This has to be a shootout in order for the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game, because the only advantage they truly have, other than Saquon Barkley, is the receivers. Like Kansas City, they do have good DBs, but A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith arguably is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. They got Trent McDuffie on the other side of the ball, but I like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Like, they have weapons to put up points, but they haven't been doing it because Saquon's been so good. Well, here comes Steve Spagnuolo, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Nick Bolton. Like, they're going to be able to handle Saquon a little bit better than the Washington Commanders did. So Jalen Hurts has got to be a playmaker and play perfect, but I don't see that happening. It's not going to be a blowout, but Chiefs are winning.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't decided who I'm going to bet or who I'm going to pick to win the game yet. I probably won't decide until Sunday morning. I think there is like the thing where the Chiefs have like it's so hard to beat this Chiefs team because like Patrick Mahomes, if you give him the ball with 2 minutes left, you're not winning that game. Like, they're going to win the game, and it's hard to do that. I start putting myself in scenarios with Vic Fangio and I'm drawing a blank right now. Nick Sirianni, like those guys. Like I get in a scenario with like if they have the ball with 4 or 5 minutes left and it's fourth down, like I think that he's gonna like those guys are gonna say, let's just win this game, and like that's how the Eagles win it. And I put myself in a position where I've seen the Eagles all year long on third down convert. Whether that's with like Dallas Goedert or Saquon or H.A. Brown, like they just consistently like they're two similar teams this season. Like they've both found ways to get the job done. I've gone at the Eagles a lot this year because it has been close games and they've been close with the Panthers. But like the bottom line and like the storyline to it all is like you have Patrick Mahomes who wins every single close game he's in, but then also you have the Philadelphia Eagles who have just won every close game and they found ways to get the job done. So I know we're going to be live Sunday, so I'll probably come out with my pick on Sunday when we're live.
Can I ask you this question then? Who's under more pressure, Eagles or Chiefs?
I think it's the Eagles. I think it's pretty simple. Like I know we had this conversation at the beginning of the year with the Chiefs, like how much pressure. Like I think they are under pressure because of the three-peat and all of that. But there is a side like boys, like they've been in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. They've won 4 Super Bowls, or what is it, 4 already? 3 already. Like this is gonna be their 4th. Like yeah, there's pressure to get the job done. But like, look at the Eagles. It would be like the Lions getting to the Super Bowl 2 times in 3 years, and then the NFC Championship game in the other one, and not getting the job done, not getting over that hill, not getting it done. Like I think Nick Sirianni. Like look at Sirianni this year. Like any mistake he made, Eagles fans were ready to fire him like that. And it's like if he loses this Super Bowl, Eagles fans are going to go at him forever. Like they can't get over that hump. They haven't been able to. So I do think like Eagles, like yeah, 3-peat's a lot of pressure, but like when you've already won the last 2, like I honestly, Jeff, you can think it's the Chiefs. They're going to be playing way loose.
I wanted to bring something up.
They're going to be playing way looser than the Eagles, way looser because the Eagles need to get one.
I'm with you. Pressure's on the Eagles.
And by the way. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad. I
just was going to mention, and I could be completely wrong on this. When we did the under pressure teams, I think I had the Chiefs a little lower than the Eagles. I thought we got into a little back and forth about it.
You had the Chiefs higher than all of us, though. We said the Chiefs have no pressure.
So it was flipped.
I had
the Eagles second or third. I had them higher.
I had the teams like the Ravens. I think I had the Ravens number 1. I think I had the Eagles. I think I had like the Ravens, the Eagles, and I had another. I think the Bills. I think I had the Bills. I think I had the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs the lowest on the list. I got cooked for it. You guys went at me because I had the Chiefs so low.
No,
why were the Chiefs at 5? I'll go back and watch the segment.
I was saying
you had them at like 3. I
think. But I said if you had them, if like the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, like who's mad in Kansas City? Nobody. There's a team like the Baltimore.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now you guys do. I got absolutely destroyed for having the Chiefs so low.
No, I think our argument was more the Lions, I think. Because I had the Lions high, remember? And you guys were like, oh. And I was like, the Lions are under pressure, man. That was a big argument we had. Mm-hmm. But I don't have
I didn't have the Chiefs that high.
I might have had them. I might have had them higher than you guys. I had the Eagles.
We got to go back and look because I am interested to see. I am interested. I would love to know.
Yeah, no, I had the Chiefs. I think definitely had them higher than you guys. Now that I'm thinking of it, but I had the Eagles up there with like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's.
We agree though. It's the Eagles. They're under.
Yeah, I think it's the Eagles. Like I get it again. Like I 100% get like if someone wants to say the Chiefs because the 3-peat it's never been done and people have gotten close to it. It just never has happened. But it's like to me, it's like the Eagles. There's these teams and the Lions. Like if the Lions don't win next year. Or they don't. Let's just say they don't get to the Super Bowl next year. They start getting into this conversation. And shout out Flannel. I actually heard Flannel say it this morning on his show. Like you're going to start getting into those conversations. Like, are you like the Ravens? Like, are you like one of those teams that just you're very good in the regular season. You're a very good roster. You're very good. You have a great coaching staff. Your franchise is up there, but you just can't get to the end result. And it's like you don't want to get stuck in that. And I think like if the Eagles lose this year, boys. They're basically like what the 49ers have been for the last 4 years, right? Like they just keep getting there. And those 2 teams right now are just basically trading spots to lose in the Super Bowl. Like that's all it is if they lose on Sunday. That's it. So I don't know what's going to happen. And I do think too, boys, like I think one big thing with the Super Bowl, is the trenches. And I honestly, I wanted to give that to the Eagles until today. Jalen Carter's been, I don't know if you guys seen this. Jalen Carter's been sick. Like, he didn't even practice today. He had to cancel his media for the week because he's been sick. And then like that's huge. Jalen Carter's their best defensive player on that whole defense. And like Super Bowls are won in the trenches. Like, that's how you win Super Bowls. Offensive line, defensive line. Who wins in the trenches? And if you're not, they're not going to be without Jalen Carter, but if he's 80%, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that is kind of.
And that's where I would go Chiefs. I got to wait till Sunday to see how some of these guys are. The Super Bowl's a big pick, boys. It's a big pick.
Give me the Chiefs.
I'd already take one bet. I took one bet though.
What'd you take?
Eagles kicker over 1.5 makes.
Jake Elliott.
I know it's bad because Jake Elliott has missed a lot this year, but
I don't hate that.
Before last week, I think he's had it in like 5 or 6 straight games. And in the Super Bowl, you guys remember last year's 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl? Million kicks. Million. I just feel like the two I think dude, as good as these offenses quarterbacks are, like, these are great defenses. Great defenses.
Let's get to Mailbag. Drop your questions. I got a couple here already. That guy up north says, Mailbag, I heard the Lakers contacted the Pistons about Darren for Connect, Reddish, first round pick before moving on to Hornets. Was it a mistake for the Pistons to not accept? I think they made the right decision there, to be honest with you. I think the way Duran's been playing, if this was last year, I would have been like, yes. The last month, I've loved what I've seen out of Duran. He's gotten a lot better. Yeah. He's a better defender. Foul trouble gets frustrating, but he is really blossoming, and I think that's why they were like, no. I mean, there's a reason why the Lakers wanted Duran. I mean, let's think about it from both angles here. I mean, Duran's been very good lately. So in the first round pick, although it's nice, it's the Lakers. I mean, it's like 6 years away. It's like 2031. So it's like for Connect, who's basically, and I like Connect, great shooter. He's a role player. Reddish, you'll cut. So you're basically, I mean, I would rather have Duran personally. So
yeah,
I'm out. Yeah, no, I'm happy they didn't.
I would have. Yeah, I'm with you. Trajan made a great move by just being like, we're good. Because Duran, dude, like, to your point, Jeff, he's starting to come into his own, and you're starting to see what he can do. And it's like you're just cracking the surface, in my opinion, right now. And it's because like this team, like Cade's starting to play better. When Ivy comes back, like, you got to think when he was playing bad, like defensively, the regimes that he had, I think not Trajan, I think JB and them, like that mindset, the defensive mindset, has helped him out a lot. And look at the coaching staff too, like Luke Walton on the bench. Like, they have some dudes that are out there able to work with Jalen Duran. And like Luke Walton's worked with so many good bigs. And like, I think it's good for him. I think he's just going to keep getting better too. I love Jalen Duran. Love him.
Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year. It just happened.
Yeah, that was. Yep.
Where was Terran Arnold ranked on that?
I don't know. I guess we have to see the voting. I don't even know where I can go look for the voting. I've seen a couple. I just seen people tweet the voting.
I'm kidding. All due respect. That was
at least Quinyon didn't win it, so we didn't have to hear that rah-rah.
I don't know if it's true. I saw ML Football, and it might be a fake ML Football account, tweet out, congrats Josh Allen MVP, and they put like an MVP graphic for Josh Allen. I don't know if that was like a accidental tweet or if they actually know something. I haven't heard from ML Football in a while. They used to message me all the time. It's been a couple months.
Did he still tag you and stuff though?
Yeah, I just don't message. They used to message me. Like, here's news.
Wow. They stopped messaging.
No longer. That was one of my big sources. Because it's crazy. It is, as much as the people are like ML sucks. Whoever runs it has like sources in the league. Because there's some times where like per sources, and it's like they have their own. They only message me and be like, got this agent telling me this. All right, cool.
So I have Gibbs was 8th in Offensive Player of the Year voting.
Okay. I saw Tim Patrick Comeback Player of the Year like 5th, I think.
He was 6th. The Jameson was a 4th, or he randomly got a 4th place vote randomly. I don't know who voted for that. Kirby Joseph finished 6th in Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, just missed out a finalist.
Ben Johnson ran away with Assistant of the Year, 364 points. Aaron Glenn was 3rd behind Flores with 110. So
that's ridiculous, by the way. Aaron Glenn should not be behind Brian Flores.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Should not. With all those injuries and him
Yeah.
doing what he did, he should not have been. It should have been I thought AG was going to win the award over Ben, to be honest.
The injuries,
Based off of
man.
the injuries.
I still think Ben should have won it, but I think second it should have been the Lions assistants. It should have been 1 and 2. Ryan says Terran Arnold 4th place. Stop it. Stop it, Ryan.
He's joking, dude.
Imagine.
He's joking. There's no way.
And
his Rake Straw 6th place.
He said, "Who's your guys?" Yeah, it's Chris. No, it's Makai Wingo.
Yeah.
Ball line mailbag. Who's your guys MVP?
Is that Super Bowl or actual MVP?
Just MVP. I think it'll be Lamar. I think Lamar.
I'm gonna go Josh Allen. Should be Saquon though, my opinion.
Well, who do I think will win it? It'll be Josh Allen, but in my opinion, it should be Lamar. I think Lamar should be the MVP.
Josh Allen, baby.
Because he's the guy. I mean, I hate saying it. He's had so many, and people get worn out with it, but he deserves it. All right. Oh, Jay-Z. Oh, Terran Arnold received 1 4th place vote. Is what he meant. They kind of like the J.
I wonder who did that.
That guy should have his vote. Give it to Boone. Give it to Boone. Whoever that
big one, dude. Let me get
whoever
a vote.
that vote was, get rid of that guy. Make Boone.
My goal is to be I would love to get AP votes. Love to be a Heisman voter too. Hey, give me a Heisman vote, please. I'll make sure we don't mess it up.
I mean, a 4th place, and again, it's like no disrespect, but like I can think of like 8 rookies that were better, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who did that. I don't know. Oh, the Megan Stefanski won NFL Fan of the Year for the whole NFL.
Who?
The Lions Fan of the Year.
The Lions fan winning it. Cool, awesome.
Yeah, you guys know who she is. We've spoke with her. She follows us.
I promise you, I've never spoke to
Maybe
her.
if I've seen.
Yeah, guaranteed. I'll put my life on that line.
On what?
That you guys know who she is.
I've definitely seen her. Yeah, no, for sure. I've definitely
she comments on our stuff all the time.
Yeah, shout out. That's big time. That's huge. Shout out to her. That's huge. Ball don't lie. Defensive rookie of the year votes. Verse 37. Mitchell 9.
Okay, yeah. That's a good. I figured Verse was going to win that no matter what, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, this award show's taking forever. By the way, it started at like 8, I think. It's 2 hours in. Don't even have MVP or Coach of the Year.
I think probably those will be last.
Dan Campbell, man, he's gonna stay up late, man, drinking his. I don't know what he's drinking at. I don't know what his alcohol of choice is.
Syrup. Drinking his syrup.
I don't want to say any like beers for free advertisements, but I post, the beer that he posts with all the time. He's gonna have a dart. You guys saw him smoking a cig.
He's gonna have a dart.
To today, Hutch never saw the picture, and today reacted to it on Pat McAfee. I was like, "That's a Dan Campbell thing, man."
I mean, he's probably got a mouthful of dip, kicked up. He probably has a badass recliner.
He might not even be watching. You know what? I bet you the man's just grinding on a film right now. Just going at it.
He's grinding.
That's my head coach. That's my coach.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's just going at it.
He's talking to Bruce, aka Brad. What's his last name? I'm sorry. Klotzy. What's
Gradkowski?
Hey, Klotz.
Gradkowski.
I think we should give you permission to get like one like smack or something on Jeff after disrespecting the Toledo guy.
All right.
Legend today.
Karma works its ways. Boone.
You're Jeff. That's my CPO's fellow Toledo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brad.
You need to get it together.
It sounds like Mike Nawat. I told you, like Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, it's Brad Gradkowski.
Yeah,
Fucking douche. Get a load of this guy. You think you're better than everybody? Just because you live north of the state line, you think you're better? Think you're privileged?
No, I don't.
Think that's what it is? You think you could just say Brad? Well, if Bruce was in front of you, would you call him Brad?
No, I would sit up straight. I'd look him in the eye, shake his hand, and say, "It's nice to meet you."
You know, one thing I'm really excited about.
Nice
I'm
to meet you,
excited to be
Bruce.
at training camp. and I'm excited to see some of these coaches coach. I know that's a dumb thing to say, but like, you know, when we go there, boys, and we're like just like juiced up off Scotty Montgomery's juice, and same with like Hank Fraley, or we see like Tanner out there just running the offense, and the boys
David
are like,
Shaw.
yeah, we see David Shaw out there,
John Morton.
John Morton.
Two glove.
Now, I heard John
Great.
Morton's like an intense guy. Like from what I was
Yeah,
reading.
well, Klotzy, why'd you do that impression?
I heard he's
That's
like
my
an
John Morton
intense guy.
That is-
Just what I heard.
Hold on. Let's not say the Johnny Moe show and now talk about this dude just intense. Like, all right, let's see first.
Johnny
Johnny Mo.
Moe show is like a let's go, boys. Get it
Johnny Mo show.
Yeah, I could tell.
AKA
Jeff-
Johnny Mo
Jeff run
money.
through walls that year.
Johnny Mo money, Mo problems. He's gonna be out there
Nua.
making plays. Watch out. All right, we'll get out of here. Appreciate
Hey,
you all.
the merch is coming. Defense
get
Hutch for
shot. Yeah,
defensive
love
player of
to
the year
have you.
2025.
You look great.
Maybe we get Hutch endorsed on it too. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk to his people. Have him call
Give him
our
sign
people.
off.
Yeah. All right. Hey, appreciate you all. Great show. We'll see who wins the award, Coach of the Year and MVP. But until
Go
tomorrow,
follow us on social.
go follow us on social as above. It's all above us. If you're listening, at Official CT Pod on most things, at Official CT
Love you
Sports
guys.
on the other things. All right. Peace.
Peace.